Murphy Stadium in San Diego, California. It's the Chicago Cubs and the San Diego Padres. Tonight, it's game number 4. Well, we'll be back with game number 4 from San Diego in a moment. At first base, over at second base will be Alan Wiggins, the shortstop, and he's got him fired up again, Gary Templeton. Over at third base, the veteran Greg Nettles. In left field, there we'll see Carmelo Martinez, and over in center field, the big 3-run home run last night, Kevin McReynolds. In right field, the National League batting champion, Tony Gwynn. Behind the plate and doing the catching will be Terry Kennedy. And on the mound, the starting pitcher tonight, left-hander Tim Lawler, a record of 11-13 and a 3.91 ERA. What about Lawler, Earl?
Well, Lawler's got a real good fastball. He claims that he's going to go right at him, but he's got to establish that fastball on the inside half of the plate so that he can use a good cut fastball that he uses as a slider.
Well, Tim Lawler taking his warm-up tosses, and prior to the game, we had it. Well, there's Templeton right there, of course. He had the fans stirred up really prior to the game, and of course, last night, as they were introduced, that man got Padre mania going, because when they came out, as there he was introduced, and indeed, he got him going. A great defensive play in the first inning, a line drive off of the bat of Leon Durham, and then the key double off of Dennis Eckersley in the left center field. Bob Dernier racing over in the alley, but it got by him to the wall. That drove in the first 2, and it was the first time the Padres had the lead in the series, and after last night, they were never hit. Of course, that was 2 nights ago. Let me correct that, because last night was an off night as far as the National League is concerned, as all of our viewers on ABC had a chance to watch the Detroit Tigers take that game 1-0 from the Kansas City Royals. As you look at the umpires for tonight's game, same as last night. Same lineup. Terry Bova behind the plate. Frank Bannon at first base, and Frank Fisher will be at second. John Stewart over third. Reggie?
I talked to Blake Cullen before the ball game, and he was his feeling that they would be better off, that the players, the catchers, both teams would be more comfortable now that they had a familiar umpire behind the plate, and that's why they're sticking with him tonight. Blake Cullen talked to Chubb Feeney, and that was the decision that they came up with.
So we're about ready to go. Bobby Dernier to lead it off. Dernier, Sandberg, and Matthews, the top 3 in the Cub order. And boy, they've got another capacity crowd, and are they noisy again tonight?
You can feel the electricity, and you liked this, didn't you, Reg?
I loved it. I loved it, Earl, because it does get you going. It gets you up. It gets you moving. You're excited to play, but this really puts you in the frame of mind and gets the adrenaline moving.
In the dugout, you know, it's not quite as thrilling or exciting.
Now, Dernier, 278 on the year, 3 for 9 in the series to lead it off. He takes a strike, and we're underway. Bill Giles of the National League and the Philadelphia Phillies has told us there is no movement in the umpire strike. And very quickly 0-2. Lawler coming right at him.
That's what he said he was going to do.
It's going to be very interesting to see what happens to Tim Lawler. Here's a fellow here that has not pitched in a while. He's got a sore shoulder. So I'm sure that Dick Williams is going to be watching him quite closely.
93 miles on that last pitch. Outside. Ooh, that'll go to the backstop. That is a real ball. Ball 1 and strike 2.
Well, when he let that ball go, it looked like he flexed his shoulder a little bit. We don't know if it means anything or not.
Slider got him. Whoop. Almost got Kennedy and the home plate umpire.
I'll tell you one thing. When a guy throws the ball way over in the other batter's box, you know he's wild. One thing it's going to do, the hitter's not going to be that comfortable at the plate. As we take a look again at the strike 3 by Tim Lawler, this is a slider down and in. And look at the bat go, hit the umpire in the head.
That's a Sparky Lyle slider as we look at it again. Sparky Lyle, Steve Carlton, who else, Reg?
Ron Guidry is the guy that people will relate to mostly. Taught to him by Sparky Lyle. That pitch is almost unhittable, more so to a right-hand hitter. It's more difficult for a right-hand hitter to hit it than it is for a left-hander.
Ryan Sandberg will step in. Ryan 5 for 12 on the series. What a pitch to come back to after throwing one all the way to the backstop. That is nasty.
That's awfully tough when you're a hitter. Here's a guy who throws the ball 2 feet out of the strike zone, and then he comes back with a perfect pitch.
Just outside. Reggie. They are up. There's another good slider.
I tell you right now, Ryan Sandberg is not thinking about the crowd. He is thinking about this man on the mound, Tim Lawler. Here's a guy throwing a ball 93, 94 miles an hour, and he doesn't know where it's going. You better be ready.
Just outside. The count goes to 2-1.
I think that can work it to a hitter's advantage is what I'm trying to get across.
Well, the big thing that Lawler has to do as he will step off here, takes a little deep sigh. Regardless if it's Lawler or anybody, you can't get out of yourself. You've got to stay within yourself. Keep that good groove. And it's 3 balls and a strike.
To make a good point of that, Donnie, is a lot of players say you make a bad play, all of a sudden you want to try to go and rush yourself and do something. You've got to wait for an opening. You have to let things happen.
Now Sandberg draws the walk. Dernier strikes out. Sandberg walks, and that'll bring on Gary Matthews. 3 for 10 in the series with a pair of home runs as you look at Dick Williams.
Batting third.
Down in the Padre dugout.
I really didn't care who I had on my mound, on the mound for me. I sweated out the first inning with the pitcher all the time. Hope he gets used to that mound in a hurry. Hope he establishes his pitches, throws strikes, stays ahead of the hitter.
Off the hands, Nettles boots, and now he'll have to go for 1. They get him at first. He had the double play, but he couldn't find the handle. I believe the way he was jammed in the skip of the ball, the spin of the ball got him, Reggie.
Well, I think Greg was, with a good full swing there by Gary Matthews, Greg expected the ball to come to him a little faster than it did. But the old pro he is, you saw him stay with the ball, not get flustered, go to first, put a little more on the throw, and come up with the 1 out.
Well, you've got Sandberg at second, and that'll bring on Keith Moreland, the right fielder. Moreland 4 for 11 in the series. You see the numbers against Lawler career-wise at 167, 3 for 18. Fastball 1-0. Sandberg at second. Able to get a pretty good lead with Wiggins and Templeton playing straight away at their position at second and short. The outfield straight away. Now Wiggins will move over and try and keep him close. High and away. It's 2-0.
Well, he's not going to be able to use that good slider a lot if he stays behind the hitters 3-1-2-0.
Oh, right now you got a 2-ball, no strike count with a man on first, man on second base in scoring position with 2 outs, and I'm sure that Keith Moreland is looking for a ball to work with, the ball he can drive.
There's Sandberg at second. There's the strike and the count. 2 balls and a strike. Well, the only thing that Jimmy Fry will do, whether it's a left-hander or a right-hander he's facing, he will just flip-flop Moreland and Durham in the lineup a little bit. He's got Moreland hitting 4th and Durham in that 7th spot tonight. They appeal, they say no. 3-1 the count.
Well, the one thing about hitting against a pitcher like Tim Lawler, you know that he's just a 2-pitch pitcher. He's a power pitcher. Everything is hard, as this pitch is here. Kennedy looks for the ball inside. It's inside, but it's down. You look for a fastball or a slider, and in this situation, he's having trouble getting the ball over. You're looking for a fastball right now.
Pops him up right side as Wiggins says he'll try it. In shallow right, makes the catch in the side, retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. The Cubs nothing, the Padres coming up. There's the defense for the Cubs tonight. Durham at first, Sandberg at second, Boyd short and Say at third, Matthews in left, Dernier in center, Moreland in right, and the battery of Jody Davis and right-hander Scott Sanderson. Sanderson, a big right-hander out of Dearborn, Michigan, a 6'5", 200-pounder. At one time this year, was a member very shortly of the San Diego Padres. He was traded to the Padres for pitcher Gary Lucas. That was back on December of last year, 1983. Then he was traded by the Padres to the Cubs for first baseman and outfielder Carmelo Martinez, Craig Lefferts, and third baseman Fritz Connolly. So all of a sudden, Sanderson, a member of the Cubs, had some problems with his back this year. He was on the disabled list from June 1st to July 4th, but he can be tough when he's right and healthy.
Yes, he is. He's got an above-average fastball. He's got an overhand curve. He has a little trouble getting it over the plate, but he's got a good slider. Pretty good straight change.
Sanderson, a record of 8-5 on the year.
It'll be interesting to see if the Padres test the back of Scott Sanderson. They say he's had problems covering first base, problems covering the bunt, and here we've got a good bunter in Alan Wiggins.
And you've got Durham right up the edge of the grass at first. Say on the grass at third. Bounce right side as Sandberg will go to Durham. 1 pitch, 1 out. And that'll bring on Tony Gwynn.
The right fielder.
Gwynn a big night the other night when he went 3 for 4. Scored a run. In the series, he's 4 for 12.
You know, Dick, when a guy goes 3 for 4 and you said he had a big night, Tony Gwynn's had a lot of big nights with 213 hits.
Boy, so true. Leading all the major leagues in hitting. National League batting champion at 351. He takes a strike, 0-1.
And so far in this series, he's hit the ball to the left side of the field 6 times.
As we said at the very offset, he will use the entire ballpark. There's a curveball bounce foul by Jack Cole through that first base coaching box, and very quickly the count moves to 0-2.
That's that overhand curveball, slow curveball, and he had Gwynn out in front of it.
Steve Garvey on deck. 0-2 to Gwynn. Series standing. The Cubs 2-1 over the Padres. Whoa! Davis thought he had it, so did Sanderson.
Perfect pitch and right where Davis had signaled for it. See Davis move over on the inside part of the plate. The glove's on the inside corner and the ball hit the inside
The only
corner.
thing I can say there, Earl, is we just must have a bad angle from up here because it sure looks like a strike to me.
The 1-2 pitch to Gwynn. Line drive, foul. And remains with a ball and 2 strikes.
I guess when you hit 350, they don't call those strikes on you.
No. No, it always reminded me trying to pitch to Stan Musier.
23 strikeouts and 675 plate appearances. 23 strikeouts for me is a good month.
I think pitching to Stan, the umpires figured if he didn't swing at it, it must have been a ball. That's fouled away. And not bad thinking, believe me.
Same with Williams.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I tell you, I played with Rod Carew, and I tell you, I've seen Rod Carew take pitches that I can hardly believe. It just seems as though they're an inch or 2 outside, and bingo. He doesn't even act like it's close.
1-2 to Gwynn. Up high, the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Predominantly a fastball pitcher, and I was talking to Terry Kennedy. He said he will try to get you out with his fastball. He'll show you his breaking ball, but he wants to get you out with a high fastball.
Right back up the middle. Good play by Sanderson to Durham. And there's 2 gone.
Well, we get to see it again now. This pitch looked like it was right down the center. Gwynn had been pulling the ball. This time he goes right back. But look at Sanderson, was ready for it. The ball was hit fairly well and could have went through up the middle for a single.
Here's Steve Garvey. Garvey, a .284 hitter on the year. You see in a series, he's 3 for 12. On deck, Greg Nettle. Infield, straight away, the outfield, more or less bunching Garvey. Breaking pitch high, the count 1-0.
Garvey is what I call a behind-the-ball type hitter. He always has his body behind the ball. He always has his bat seemingly behind the ball in the strike zone. You'd almost think he swung late at the ball all the time. And Steve told me the reason he does that is because he wants to keep the bat in the strike zone longer and have more chance to make contact. His thoughts in his mind are try to hit a line drive right over the second baseman's head. He works the right side of the diamond. A behind-the-ball hitter.
1 ball and 1 strike to count. 2 outs. Bottom of the first, no score. That's to right field and playable. is there. And the Padres are going 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors. They leave nobody. And after one from San Diego, no score.
One of the teams obviously is going to be the National League champion, and the champagne will be flowing. I think it's only appropriate that Mr. Lawrence Welk, the king of the champagne music, is here. You look like you're having fun.
I'm having a lot of fun. It's unbelievable the fun we're having here. I wish all of you folks could be in my place here.
Thank you, Mr. Welk. Don Drysdale, I guess you can look for a lot of 1 and 2 counts tonight.
Well, we'll look for some 1 and 2 count. That's
Timmy.
A great segue right there.
The third baseman, number 11, Ron Say.
Now, Ron Say will lead it off, and he'll be followed by Jody Davis and Leon Durham. Say has hit in every game in the series, along with Moreland and Sandberg for the Cubs. Ron 3 for 10. Lawler starting inning number 2. Lawler signed originally by the Yankees in 1978. And they really kind of groomed him to be a reliever, Reggie. You were over there 2 years, thought he had a chance. The only left-hand reliever they had was Rudy May, who at that time had some back problems, but then in spring training, and he was traded to San Diego.
I remember that, Don. It seemed like he was going to make our ball club that year. All of a sudden, he was traded.
Here's Say. Outside 1-0.
He was kind of a wild type of guy, a fun-loving guy when he was young, and all of a sudden, when he matured and was about to make our ball club as a Yankee, he was then traded.
And it's 2-0 to Say. With Davis on deck. Infield straight away. The outfield the same for Say.
Again, here's that situation that hitters just love to hit in. 2 balls and no strikes with the pitcher struggling.
Out of play, and Say did not get cheated. Had a high fastball.
Well, following that ball off shows that Lawler's got a little extra on that fastball right now.
I think that's very important, Earl. I can always tell when a guy is going to have a good ball game, or seems like he's going to have a good game. If he can throw the ball in the strike zone and not let the batter put the bat on the ball when you're expecting it like 2-0, he's got a good shot.
And pops him up right side. Garvey in foul territory will have a play. Out number 1.
Anytime you see a pitcher when he's behind in the count, he's throwing his fastball, you know the hitter is pretty much looking for it. You see that ball fouled straight back. Then you see the hitter pop balls up or hit a lot of high fly balls. They're not quite catching up to the fastball at that time.
That's right. He'll show you that fastball, Earl, is moving a little bit, too. And I think as a manager, that's something you're looking at.
Definitely. It's got a little hop on it, especially when the pitcher comes over the top. Jim Palmer got more outs on 2-0 than 3-1 than any pitcher I ever had.
Here's Jody Davis. There's the strike, and the count is 0-1.
All of your hard throwers make a living on that pitch, Earl. That high fastball when it just looks so good like you can hit it, but it's in the 90s, it's up around your shoulders, and you just can't quite get it.
Just outside, 1-1 the count. Well, Lawler right, fairly consistent around that 92, 93 mile an hour mark. Big, strong left-hander, and he can also swing the bat. Good hitting pitcher. He just threw it by him. 1-2.
Right by him there.
I talked to him before the game, and he told me he was going to give it as much as he had for as long as he could.
That's about the only way you can go. The Padres, they're looking for a 3-game winning streak, and the Cubs are looking for just 1. I tried to overthrow that a little bit, 2-2.
I tell you, he's throwing hard right now. He is throwing the ball hard.
And I don't know right here, at that 93 mile an hour fastball, Reggie, how easy it is to see either.
A little tough to see this time anywhere that you are. Anytime it's 5:30, 6 o'clock, it's tough to see.
It won't get better for a while either.
Out of play, count remains 2-2.
There again, you saw the ball in the strike zone. He had enough mustard on the ball to let the hitter have a good swing, but he can't quite catch up to it yet.
And it's evident that the hitters are looking for that pitch right there also.
This is where you start mixing in. If you mix in a couple of breaking pitches for strikes, that's foul right side. Now all of a sudden, you've got the hitters a little bit at a disadvantage. He will go with a fastball approximately 80% of the time. We saw him strike out Dernier to lead off the game with a good slider. There's another one that gets Davis.
Well, here it is again, and it's an unhittable pitch, the way I feel, after those fastballs. He was behind on the pitch before this. Look at that ball break down in him. right where he wanted to throw it.
Well, again, that's the slider that makes it, that's so tough to hit for the left-hand hitter.
Here's Leon Durham. You see 1 for 13 in the series with an RBI. Leon during the year hit 279.
For the right-hand hitter, that is.
Now we'll see how he works to the only left-hander in the lineup. The strike with a fastball. Jimmy Fry over in the Cub dugout. Shank, left side, foul, 0-2.
You see that ball crowded Leon Durham right there, Bull Durham. That ball was inside on him. And I tell you, this is a spot you do not want to be in against a tough left-hander when you're a left-hand hitter. When he lets that ball go and he throws a first strike, you want to be wailing.
Left side, Nettles on the big hop. To Garvey, and the Cubs are gone. 1, 2, 3 in the second inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. They leave nobody. We're through 1.5 in game number 4. The Cubs nothing, and the Padres.
Yes, I sure did. The thing about it, he turns doubles into double plays and singles into outs.
And he will lead it off as we go to the bottom of the second inning. It'll be Nettles, Kennedy, and McReynolds in that order.
I think Greg Nettles is one of the best guess hitters I've ever played with, and if he catches up to one of this guy's fastballs, he misses or gets in front of the count, he's going to have some home run cuts tonight.
Sanderson thinking the same way, misses outside.
He can hit some outstanding pitches, and that's why, because he looks for him.
Just missed that one as he turns it around high to right. Moreland is there. Underneath of that fastball, and there's one gone. So one out, and that'll bring on Terry Kennedy.
I think the fans think that Keith Moreland dropped this ball.
No.
In the act of throwing.
Just in the act of throwing. He had it. Dick Williams is going to come out and ask the first base umpire, Frank Campagna, about it.
He's saying he was taking it out of his glove. He had possession of it long enough.
Oh, I think Dick just wants to let Frank know that he's over there on the bench watching every move he makes. Just letting him know I'm here, pal.
That's all.
Here it comes down on super slow-mo. We see him reaching his glove. As far as I'm concerned, he had possession of it long enough. It was in the bare hand.
Yes, sir. Well, there's one gone, and I think you're right, Reggie. Dick is just going to make sure that everybody's watching the same thing he is. Terry Kennedy takes the first pitch for the strike. Terry, 2 for 11 in the series. See the career mark against Sanderson. Fouled away. Right side 0-2. Kennedy, the ground balls have been to the right side. Moved the ball to the left side. That was over in, basically in Wrigley Field. There's a line drive down the right field line on a high curveball as Moreland moves over in a hurry. As Kennedy makes the turn, he'll hold right there. So the Padres have their first base runner of the evening and the first hit of the night.
Here's a breaking ball, a curveball that hangs up there, and Terry Kennedy must have been looking for this pitch. He told me before the ball game he's a 2-pitch pitcher. Likes to show you the curveball and get you out with the fastball. That time he showed him the curveball, a little bit too much of it. I guess you can sometimes, again, wonder why a player doesn't get a double when he hits the ball down the right field line like that. It's because of where they're defensing him. The right fielder, Keith Moreland, was playing him in the right spot that time.
As Kevin McReynolds will stand in. McReynolds 2 for 7 in the series. Had a big key home run last night to break it open as he takes low and inside to count 1-0.
Well, Moreland has surprised Jim Fry. He's not fast to foot. Fry really is amazed at how the quick jump that Moreland gets on the ball in the outfield, especially after being a catcher most of his career.
Bounce foul. The count evens up at 1-1.
I think it's going to be interesting to me just to see what develops in this ball game. I'm looking for relief pitching early. Both teams have the 4-starter on the mound, and I'm sure that both managers are not going to let that pitcher get into too much trouble too soon.
Well, Dick Williams certainly cannot let it get him in too much trouble early because he knows there's no tomorrow if the Padres have to play a game from the big catch-up position. Hard hard right to save, and no throw back to first.
Good base running.
So there's two going to Martinez.
You take a look at it again. Kevin McReynolds hits this ball right on the button, but right at run safe.
Number 14.
Well, there's the case of getting the pitch up a little bit. And, of course, that is the big thing that Sanderson will do with the breaking pitch. He will get that pitch up. He'll have a tendency to leave that breaking pitch a little bit high, and he's got to be very cautious of that.
Well, when you've seen a pitcher before, Don, you know to look for the ball up. The thing he has to do is get good mustard on the ball.
Martinez fouls it right side and out of play.
Because sooner or later, I've always felt that if the pitcher's out on the mound, especially this time of year, he's got 150, 200 innings on his arm, then you get in a ball game and you're out there and you get 70, 80, 90 pitches on your arm. Now when you throw that fastball up around the letters, it doesn't quite have as much mustard on it, and you can catch up to it, especially if you're looking in that area as a hitter.
The count. Well, you know, Earl, you had a veteran catcher over there in Rick Dempsey at Baltimore for so many years, and you've got two heady catchers here in Kennedy and Davis, and it's nice to have them really be that quarterback and take charge and remind those pitchers of that, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But Scott Sanderson with that overhand curveball, that's one of the toughest pitches in baseball to throw for a strike. You start getting it below the belt, it breaks so much it'll be down out of the strike zone.
Right, it's a tough pitch to throw for a strike.
You know, you can think back over the last 20, 25 years of how many pitchers that have walked through the major leagues that have had that good overhand curveball. There have not been that many. Shallow right. Moreland is there. And that will do it. So the Padres are gone. No runs on a hit. They leave a man, and we're through two from San Diego in Game 4. The Cubs nothing and the Padres nothing. Tell you, that is just beautiful. Larry Bowa will lead it off. It'll be Bowa, Sanderson, and Dernier in that order to face left-hander Tim Lawler. See the numbers on Bowa lifetime, 4 for 24. You know what it reminds me of right here, and all the enthusiasm that we have here in this particular game tonight? Like two heavyweights kind of coming out and sparring a little bit, doesn't it?
That's the way it started off.
1 ball and no strikes to Bowa. Larry, of course, a switch hitter, will hit from the right side. That's fouled right side, and the count 1-1.
Oh, he has a good cut right-handed.
When he's hitting right-handed, Earl, just like you say, he has a good cut. He's hitting 100 points higher right-handed. During the season, he hit 286 as a right-hand hitter, 190 as a left-hand hitter. And it's the same thing going for him in the series. 333 right-handed and 143 left-handed.
There's a beach ball out in left center field.
Well, one of the things about Bowa, he certainly has no regrets about the '82 trade to the Cubs. And he was a 5- and 10-year man at that time with the Phillies. He could have vetoed the trade, but Dallas Green told Larry that it'd take about 5 years to turn things around. And fortunately for the Cubs, it's been a little quicker than that. He wanted Larry to work with Brian Sandberg. Shot, base hit down the line. That'll go for extra bases. Through the bullpen, Martinez over. Bowa on his way for 2. He's there with a leadoff double.
Larry Bowa, 39 years old. He's getting a playoff, and he plays like he's 19.
Well, again, he's hitting right-handed. He has a much better cut on a pitch right down the center of the plate, getting a little help from some unexpected sources.
Kennedy and Lawler will have a little chat as Sanderson will be the hitter, and the Padres will be looking for the bunt.
And it's possible that Wiggins is going to be charging in. Here's another look at the double down the third baseline. Nettles didn't miss it by much, but he missed it. Now there's a man on second base. The pitcher up at home plate, bunt situation. And San Diego has been using their second baseman to charge the bunt on the right side.
Well, it should be a little bit of an advantage for Lawler if the bunt is to the pitcher or the third base side. As you look at Zimmer talking to Sanderson, as the Cubs will try and defense the Padre defense, as Wiggins is standing right alongside Lawler.
Well,
that's a little unusual.
I think Zimmer might have told Sanderson, don't let Wiggins get too close.
Lawler with a left-hander should have the advantage going to third.
Wiggins is charging.
Well, there's a play that you will not see that often.
No, but it's not brand new. But Dick Williams has been around a long time, and he's using Wiggins to his advantage with Garvey back. Wiggins has a good chance if that ball's bunted on the right side of the infield to throw the man out at third base.
Here he comes.
Look at this.
Third base side, an excellent bunt. They'll pick it up foul.
I'll tell you, the biggest thing about something like that to me is it puts a lot of pressure on the hitter. For me, I would hate for a guy to stand on top of me like that. I mean, I just couldn't stand it.
I don't think anybody would want to stand there anyway, but here we get it real high. You can see Wiggins coming in. That's the second baseman.
The pressure that, look how close he is. The pressure that it puts on you as a hitter, it's just an uncomfortable feeling, and it's got to put pressure on Scott Sanderson.
Well, he knows he has to bunt the ball down the third baseline, and I think he'll be bunting again myself. That was almost a perfect bunt. It hit the edge of the grass and rolled foul, or it would have gotten the job done.
To me, it's the same thing that Pete Rose did to Mickey Rivers in the World Series. I've seen players do it to Billy North when I was at Oakland. They would just stand right on top of him, and for some reason, it just made the hitter uncomfortable. It's almost embarrassing.
They defy you to go through it. The outfield shallow is going to bunt again, and that's fouled away, and he's gone.
It just puts pressure on you, I'm telling you. I believe one way to stop it is all you got to do is take one great, big, wild, healthy swing. And I'm going to tell Dick Williams, hey, pal, I'm not going in there.
You had used Don Zimmer's theory about hitting. Swing hard in case you hit.
Well, Wiggins would still be in, but not quite that close. You know, Sanderson was giving himself up a little bit too early in that situation. He was letting him get in there.
I tell you, it's so easy to see it from up here. Golly, gee, I wish it was like that when I was playing.
Now there's one gone, and here's the leadoff hitter, Bob Dernier. Fouled right side and out of play. 0-1 the count. Boa at second, no score. We're in the top of the third. Game number 4. The Cubs leading the series 2-1. They need a win to win the National League title. The Padres need a win to force it into Game 5.
Most of the big hitters have been behind Lawler. It's funny that Boa could catch up and pull the ball.
A shot foul.
There's another one pulled. But I had a player named Marco Angelo who off of Nolan Ryan was the best hitter on my ball club against Ryan himself. Get to see it again. Ball's hit well. Nettles a good jump. Umpire is in good position. Had to get down.
There's a perfect example where you saw Nettles much closer to the line that time. That way, he does not allow a ball to get to by him on his right, which is an automatic double. Ball by him on his left, which is his glove side, will be a single, and the runner will have trouble scoring. The outfielder will have a play on it.
Well, you give a little indication that he might be running.
He's dancing around out there. It's going to be Wiggins who's going to try and keep him close if he can. That's bounce foul. The count remains 0-2. Lawler, a little unusual, and you would have to think with that open stance, you wonder about speed at first and running on Lawler. Now we'll watch and we'll get a good look at the footwork in his set position out of the stretch. He is way open, and then he comes all the way back around. You see where that right foot is. Watch where he has to kick the leg. Again, Wiggins in behind Boa.
I honestly don't think that Mr. Boa is going anywhere. He's in scoring position right now, and why take a chance to run, go to third base, and get thrown out? You're already in scoring position.
Templeton goes to Nettles. They get Boa. Bad base running play.
It's a situation there where you feel like you're the loneliest man in the ballpark. I'm sure that that's the way Larry Boa feels there. A Cardinal sin in baseball. Ball hit in front of you. You saw that ball go in front of Larry Boa. Automatic out at third base. He hustled. He was going as hard as he could, but that's something that it's just not made to happen in baseball. You just can't go advance the base when that ball is hit in front of you on the third base side.
And there's never been a third base coach that the minute the man got on second base with less than 2 outs says, Watch the ball hit in front of you, which means don't come over.
They say it every time, and that's why you get gray hair in a situation like that. Just get a few more. I'm sure Jim Fry did.
Dernier at first, good speed. Now we'll get a chance to see if Dernier will challenge that move and that footwork of Lawler. Dernier, 45 stolen bases on the year. Excellent speed. Sandberg, the hitter, walked his first time at bat. Look how open he is. Good fastball.
Well, Lawler's supposed to have a good move, but just as you said, the scouting report is he's slow getting the ball to home plate.
To Ryan Sandberg. Dernier moving back to the bag that time on the pitch, and the count 1-1. Nick Garvey holding.
It's definitely a run situation because if he gets thrown out, you got Sandberg leading off the next inning. You got a pretty good hitter coming up to start the inning and good speed if he gets on the bases. Looked like he had ideas then.
It did. There was a little slight feint over there.
Well, Bobby Dernier and Ryan Sandberg stole almost 80 bases during the season, have only one stolen base in the playoffs so far.
And it's been by Dernier. Deep down the line into the corner, hooking, foul.
Almost. Winds up being a strike. Almost only counts in horseshoes and accidents.
And the count moves on to a ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Now, even Earl, with this count here, would it mean a little bit more with Dernier? Just say go.
Take a chance. Again, thinking the next inning, Sandberg goes up there if he should get thrown out with an 0-0 count.
Sure right now that Ryan Sandberg knows that situation. Terry Kennedy was out there talking to Tim Lawler. He knows what they're talking about, Mr. Sandberg does. More than likely right now, he's got a real good chance to get a fastball if they're steal pinches.
Well, he also might ask him if he wanted to pitch out. A lot of catchers ask their pitchers before they put the thing down, sign down.
Well, when you get an account like this, too, if you're a pitcher and you're thinking a little bit and you see what the count is and how many outs there are and who the hitter is, you want to give that man your best move over there because you might pick him off. Started to go and holds up. He does not have him down as yet, Earl. He started, stopped, and I think he's kind of having a little clubhouse meeting with himself right now.
It happened twice already.
Looks like he may be changing the motion on his, changing the timing on his motion so as not to let Bob Dernier time him.
Right center field, there's McReynolds, and that'll do it. So Sandberg hits it on the nose, but the Cubs are gone. No runs on a hit. They leave a man after 2.5. There's no score. He had these fans stirred up, and prior to the game, I had a chance to talk to him. Gary, it seemed that the Padres needed some kind of a boost. And when you went to the line the other night on the introductions, that was the big key, and they all mentioned Gary Templeton.
Yeah, well, the thing about it was, I knew one of the veterans had to take over and, try to, start some type of leadership for that game. So I just went out and I figured that was the best time to do it when everybody was getting introduced. So I just tried to fire him up, fire my teammates, and then try to get the crowd fired up behind him.
1 ball and no strikes to Templeton. He'll be followed by Lawler and then Wiggins. The center field, Dernier started back, now has to come in a hurry! Can't make the play! Backed up by Matthews as Templeton's aboard. Dernier started back and then could not catch up to it.
We talked about the twilight. Here, Gary Templeton takes a big full swing, the same cut he took on the double the other night when he hit the ball to the fence. Bobby Dernier went back on the ball. He saw the swing, had trouble picking the ball up because we talked about earlier the problem with the twilight. Consequently, a base hit. And that's a break.
Well, you won't see Dernier go back on many balls. I think it was more the swing than the twilight, Reds, right now.
Here's Lawler as he goes through the fastball. So Dick Williams not thinking talking about a bunt right there. We mentioned before, Lawler, pretty good hitter. 221, had 3 home runs this year and had 15 RBI. He might have just given him 1 pitch. He did. And it's strike 2, 0-2.
That ball looked like it was outside.
Well, I think he'll let him go back to swinging. We get to see the pitch right here. He squares around to sacrifice. Ball started over the plate, and it's tailing. It might have got the front corner. It might not.
Probably was a strike. Lawler broke in as a first baseman and a pitcher. That's why he's a good hitter.
There goes Templeton. Swing and a miss, and they will not even make an attempt.
So Tim Lawler strikes out and still gets the job done. And Gary Templeton is fired up, let me tell you. Here's a great jump from Gary Templeton. Look, he gets a couple steps in before the ball was even thrown from the pitcher's mound.
He also got a slow curveball to run on, too. There's the jump. Real good jump. Had a slow curveball to run on, and there was no contest.
Here's Alan Wiggins with Templeton at second base. On deck, Tony Gwynn. 1 out, bottom of the 3rd, no score.
Here right now, you'll see if Wiggins will try to take advantage of the bad back or the problem that Sanderson has had fielding. That may have been just a bluff, though.
Well, you've got a situation right here, too. Say cannot come in too far with the speed of Templeton at second base because he might take off for third, any kind of an attempt by Wiggins. That is another play that other clubs will have. 1-1 to count. Earl?
I think the Dodgers had that play, didn't they? When
We did, yes, sir.
Square around, a third baseman come in, and there was a lot of speed on your Dodger ball clubs, too. All of a sudden, the man sliding into third behind him.
Earl, that is a great play because here's a classic example of how you can work the play. You've got the speed at second and Templeton, a good bunter in Wiggins. All Wiggins has to do is go through the bunt and draw Say in a couple of steps. And Templeton stealing on the pitch, and boy, it's hard for that third baseman to get back there.
Awfully tough to steal third base with a left-hand hitter.
Not with the third baseman coming in for an attempted bunt, but you bunt through the ball. That's the key. That's the play. And he was going that way, too. And if he gets it down, he's got a base hit because Sanderson is not moving off of the mound.
And
Sanderson didn't move it off.
And Say was going back to cover third base. Attempted to bunt. He hasn't even moved yet.
Well, as we watch Sanderson, he had moved. You're right.
Well, the count 1-2 to Wiggins. It appears, Earl, that the curveball that Sanderson's thrown is not the velocity, not anywhere near which you don't expect it to be anyway with a fastball, but it seemed like it's the off-speed curveball. Then he's got the hard fastball.
It's a slow one.
That's something that they will watch in that San Diego dugout. Foul, first base side, Jack Kroll over there.
Very important for San Diego. If they can get a run right now, you'll see this crowd come alive, and they can put some pressure on the Chicago Cubs. Even though the ball game is just a third of the way, they can put some pressure on that club because the Cubs will start to wonder now what's happening.
Well, they've been dry for a while. They had 1 run in I don't know how many innings.
Base hit center field. Junior charging hard. They're going to hold up Templeton. The runners at first and third to Tony Gwynn. There's good coaching by Ozzie Virgil because Templeton would not have had a chance.
And here we get it again. Base hit right up the middle. Junior charges hard. Even though he fumbled that ball, I think Virgil made the right decision.
I go right along with it because Vernier got on that in a hurry, and that man can play center pasture, believe me. So runners at the corners. You have Templeton at third. You have Wiggins at first and Gwynn the hitter. Speed galore.
It's what you used to call a right man in the right spot. You had your 350 hitter up there.
Well, you can't ask for much more right here for San Diego. You know this guy's going to put the bat on the ball.
Down the left field line. Shea going over, both runners tagging. A long way to go. He can't catch up to it. It just goes for the strike. If Shea gets to that ball, it's a run.
Well, no matter who gets to that ball, they're going to score.
They're going to go with Templeton.
No one's going to throw Templeton out. If you have an infielder catch that ball, he's got his back to the plate and he's running away from home plate. He can't make a throw. Matthews catches that ball and he's going to wind up in the stands. That's a run and a sacrifice fly if they catch that ball.
Action in the Chicago bullpen. Right-hander Dick Ruthven gets up and he starts to throw.
And Wiggins showed signs that he's going to try to steal a base.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, Earl. Here you are in a situation. You've got the left-hand hitter up. You like many times to have that hole through as you look at Ruthven in the bullpen. Do you take Wiggins and Cindy?
Yes, I do. He'll be running, I think. If he gets a shot, it helps open up a hole on the infield and helps you stay out of that double play.
0-1 the count.
A lot of people may talk about that bases will be loaded, and maybe they'll want to pitch to Garvey with the bases loaded.
I think they might do that.
He hit in the 25 double plays this year.
They give him the alley in right center. There goes Wiggins. Bounce foul. So the count is 0-2.
So you, as a player, when you're playing in the outfield, when I played in the outfield, the thing you hope right now, you know this man, every Chicago Cub now knows who is at the plate. He's a 350 hitter. They know that he does not strike out, and they're really hoping for him to put the ball in, play hard to either Boa or Sandberg so they can turn two.
Templeton at third. Wiggins at first. No score. Bottom of the third. Hard, just outside. You saw Davis where he was sitting. He didn't want Sanderson to make any mistake.
That was a pretty good 0-2 pitch right there. It was a ball. We'll see it's a ball. We can see that it's going outside, but what a perfect pitch.
Boy, I like catchers to do that. Jody Davis out there, he's helping you think right along with that pitch.
Could be a purpose pitch. We'll see now if Sanderson or Jody Davis tries to get Sanderson to come back inside on Tony Gwynn. And do I see Tony Gwynn sneaking off the plate right there?
Well, I know Wiggins is. I think he'll be running on this pitch.
Did he sneak off the plate?
There he goes. Foul left side, out of play.
I think that Tony Gwynn might have been thinking along with him. It looked like he was inching his feet back just a little bit.
Well, if you're a man like Tony Gwynn, and of course you're Sanderson and Davis out there trying to think along with you, and you got Wiggins over there, many times you get a man hitting behind speedsters, they're going to be getting many more fastballs to hit than they are breaking pitches. A ball and 2 strikes, 1 out and 2 on.
It's fun, isn't it?
Oh, it's great.
You're going to see it all. You're going to see it all.
What I say, I don't know. I haven't seen that since the Big Frost.
Haven't seen it work since the Big Frost, but I'll tell you, whenever you get a man on first and third, you're going to see it.
Be alive. Wiggins goes. Curveball hit to left field. Matthews giving ground, tagging Templeton. Matthews for the catch. The throw will go to second. The Padres take a 1-0 lead.
That'll get that 10th man in the play. The fans will stand up and be counted now. I want you to notice the bat control here, Tony Gwynn. Right there, he was out on his front foot. He held his bat up and still put the bat on the ball. That's why he only struck out 3 times, 23 times this year. Gary Matthews with a good, smart play. He knows he's got no chance to get Gary Templeton, so he throws to second base to hold up Alan Wiggins.
Now you've still got to keep an eye on Wiggins at first. Here's Garvey. Time call. Third base umpire John Stewart very alertly calling time all the way and running all the way down to home plate. as something came back down on the field over by the Padre dugout.
It was a Frisbee, and I believe it landed in the stands.
Frisbees and beach balls, you never have to worry about that. When I played in New York, they didn't know what it was. You know you're in California when you see that. And you know something? As a player, I don't really like it.
So again, Gary Templeton scoring the first run of the ball game as he got it going a couple of nights ago. And he scores the first run tonight. The Padres on top, 1-0. We're in the bottom of the third.
The Quinn's going to go. He's got to go if you get the jump.
Allen, 70 stolen bases on the year. High, 1-0.
Excuse me. I said Wiggins. I meant Wiggins.
Garvey flied to right his first time at bat. Boy, those eyes mean something, don't they? They are looking at every move that Sanderson has.
They will let you know that a man is completely in the game. That is what you call, heard of tunnel vision? Well, those are tunnel thoughts. He's got one thing in mind.
Every inch of that frame of Scott Sanderson, Alan Wiggins is studying, and then back under the tag.
And it's just going to be impossible to throw him out if Sanderson throws that slow curveball.
Well, if you're Garvey, you've got to be looking one pitch even.
Well, especially if you're Steve Garvey. I said earlier, he's a behind-the-ball hitter. He wants to hit that ball to the right side of the diamond all the time. He waits as long as he possibly can. And now he's got the advantage of having Alan Wiggins on first base. Probably going to get a fastball, and he's got the whole right side of the diamond to work with. I got money he hits the ball to the right side of the field.
He's already thrown 18 pitches this inning. Shot, fair down the line. This could get a run. Over in the corner in the bullpen. Wiggins around third. He will come on and score. No throw. 2-0 San Diego on the double by Garvey.
It won't be long before you'll see Jim Fry. This is a piece of professional hitting right here by Steve Garvey. A shot down the left field line. He wasn't thinking about right field. I was. He was not. He was thinking about driving that run in. And in order to do it, a man from first base, he had to hit the ball fence distance. That's what he went after.
Well, he only hit 8 home runs this year, but he's still got the power to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And I know, as you said that, Reg, if we're throwing that fastball to you, you wouldn't be thinking left field right
now. Well, he was thinking right field because he's a left-hand hitter. Well, the Padres on top, 2-0, and that'll bring on Greg Nettles as you've got Garvey at second base. The outfield swung around to the right. The infield swung around to the right. Slow curve down low. The count 1-0.
He's going to be very careful, Mr. Greg Nettles, right now. A big fly ball right now, and they're down too far. He knows what Greg Nettles can do.
Another slow curve up high, 2-0.
He doesn't mind walking him. He won't mind walking this guy.
Not at all, I don't believe. First of all, you're not, even though you've got a left-hand hitter coming up behind him, you still can't give in to Nettles at first base.
Definitely not.
And right now, Scott Sanderson knows he wants to keep his ball club in the game. He's only given up 2 runs.
He was not fooled. He just threw it by.
He gave him a ball to work with. That's for sure.
I think it was in on the hands just a little bit.
See the determination in his face, though, Earl. You see those lips get tight? Greg Nettles doing a little landscaping.
Now, did he move off the plate a little bit, Reg?
He may have.
After that pitch under the hands?
Up high, held up. They appeal, they say no. 3-1.
The situation right here, this ball is up. Outside, Jody Davis gets the ball where he wants, location outside, but a little too high. And Greg Nettles, you see him starting the bat, wanting to get ready, wanting to get that part of the bat in the strike zone. You'll see him jumping at the ball the same way this time.
And they think the same way and walk him on a straight change. The runners at first and second, and that'll bring on Terry Kennedy.
That was Sanderson's choice. The pitcher has got to think what he wants to do, and evidently he didn't want to give in to Nettles. He'll take his chances with Kennedy right now.
Well, as you look at Fry, and I think right there, Earl, Sanderson is thinking, I like to work on a fresh count. I don't want to work on a 3-1 count. Billy Connors, the pitching coach, on the right of your screen, right beside him. Ruthven is ready.
No harm done right there. He had a base open. He figures I'm either going to make perfect pitches to Greg Nettles, or he's not going to get a ball to hit. I can put a man on, and I'll advance no one.
Ruthven, he's been up. He's ready. Now, Sanderson has thrown 45 pitches so far in the ball game. We're 2 outs in the bottom of the third, and the Padres on top 2-0. Play. Oh, look at that top hand come over on Kennedy.
Taking some swings, and this all got started when Bob Dernier broke back on Gary Templeton's fly ball to center field.
Kennedy singled his first time at bat. He got a high curveball, singled to right. Garvey at second, Nettles at first. Not a lot of speed on the bases, nor at the plate. Left field out of play. And quickly, Sanderson out in front 0-2. So there's the difference that we were talking about. Instead of giving him to Nettles on a 3-1 count, he puts him on, and now he's ahead of Kennedy 0-2. Right there, that average runners in scoring position. He'd like to move that up a little bit.
You can have that average go right out the window now if he hits the base hit right now. It won't mean a thing.
Before he gets it back from Davis.
He wanted it badly.
Boy, you'd love to read his thoughts right now.
Well, if he gets the hit, there'll be some screaming from the Chicago dugout.
If he gets the base hit, I think we might get full view of Mr. Fry.
Oh, definitely.
On deck, Kevin McReynolds, 1-2 to Kennedy. There's Durham. He'll go to the bag and do it himself, and the side is retired. But the Padres come up with 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors, and they leave a pair. And we're through 3 complete from San Diego in game number 4. It's the Padres 2, the Cubs nothing. That isn't a beautiful shot from the blimp.
Now, Reg, I think this is a time that the twilight might be bothersome to the outfield.
Could be. Yes, I do. I do agree.
As we go to the top of the 4th inning, it'll be Gary Matthews to lead it off, followed by Keith Moreland and Ron Say. 2-0, the Padres on top. Matthews bounced to third his first time at bat. One ball and no strikes to count. Count 2-0.
I think we've got the makings of a great game here because you know the Padres are not going to, the Cubs are not going to fluster.
No, the Cubs have not done that all year. What a year they've had. 96 wins, that's out of play. Finishing 6.5 over the New York Mets. Lawler still throwing in the 90s. That last pitch at 91 miles per hour. Up high, it's 3-0.
And again, because it's over 90 miles an hour, you can get by throwing it up. In fact, you'll get many outs that way.
He said he was going to throw as hard as he could for as long as he could.
He walks him. And that will be something that Dick Williams will be keeping an eye on. That is the second walk issued by Lawler. And a reminder that the National League Championship Series, an ABC Sports exclusive, is being brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Here's Keith Moreland. Pop to the second baseman Wiggins, his first time at bat. 2-0, the Padres on top. We're in the top of the 4th. In game number 4. Outside, and now Kennedy wants to go out and talk to him.
Well, the words might be, we just got 2 up. Now let's don't give them any back. Let's make them earn it.
Again, I think I said over in the first game over there in Chicago, I remember what Billy Martin told me several years ago. Whenever a pitcher gets some runs scored for him, he sits in that dugout for a while. He usually comes back out on the mound and has a little problem.
I adhere to that theory.
Well, there's the walks. You saw 105 walks issued by Lawler. And the Padres get some action in the bullpen. That's hit hard center field. McReynolds, little late jump, but now has a play. Makes the catch out number 1.
I know as a hitter for me, Don and Earl, I always looked to see how the pitcher was going to be, and I felt a little bit more confident when I went out to hit when a pitcher had given up when his team has scored 3 or 4 runs.
The right-hander is Hawkins, the left-hander is Dravecki as Ron Say stands in.
Williams said he'd go quickly, go to the bullpen quickly.
Say fouled Garvey his first time at bat. On that inside corner. 0-1 the count. Infield, double play depth. The outfield about straight away. Martinez the deepest of the 3. There's your defensive alignment.
Martinez is very deep.
High. As Templeton says he'll try it. 2 gone. Nettles for a moment didn't know if Templeton saw the ball or not. Gary had the hand out as if to say, I'll take it. But Greg was not going to take any chances. He started at the last moment over there and then saw that he had it.
Right now, you can take a look at Greg Nettles. He's wondering if Gary Templeton sees the ball. He stays alert. He wants to make sure he stays in position to catch the ball just in case he doesn't see it. Then I saw Gary Templeton point to his eyes, and then point to the sky, and that means it's difficult to see. Everybody be alert.
Now there's 2 gone, and that'll bring on Jody Davis. Struck out his first time at bat. Over that outside part of the plate, and the count 1 ball and no strike, just off the corner.
And just like Thursday's ball game, Reg, this will pass in some 10 or 15 minutes when it gets all the way dark.
That's right.
Matthews at first and Garvey holding. 1 ball and 1 strike the count.
He's still throwing the ball well. You see him throw the ball right in the strike zone. Very hittable. Bingo, he throws it by him.
Sam Davis.
Pretty lady.
Yes, sir. Outside. The count 2-1.
I'll tell you, that shoulder must not be hurting too much.
Not if you're up in the 90s, Reggie. That time he just got out of his sink, that's all. You could see the rhythm fall apart.
Don, you as a pitcher, how do you think he's throwing the ball right now? What kind of rhythm does he have?
It's been very spotty, I think. He's doing exactly what he told you he was going to do. He's throwing as hard as he can, as long as he can, and sometimes that will force a mistake a little bit every now and then once he starts to lose a little bit. And Earl, I think you were a master of that when you used the gun. That was one of your keys, was it not?
Oh, it was a tip-off, sure. There are certain hitters in the league that you can throw by them high if you're throwing 90. But Reggie's one of them. If you get below 90 miles an hour on that gun, they're going to hit it out of the ballpark.
I always believe that you could get me out the first time, you might get me out the second time, but once you get 80, 90 pitches on your arm, I got a chance to catch up to you, Don.
Yep. Out of play right side. The count remains 2-2 to Jody Davis. 2 outs. Matthews at first. We're in the top of the 4th inning. 2-0 Padres. 92 miles an hour on that last one.
And I think if Lawler wasn't thinking that way, we'd have been seeing the slider a lot more. He does not want to make a mistake with that slider while he's having success with the fastball.
We might see it here.
Good spot.
He got it, and he hits it hard to left, down the line, hooking in the corner. It's gone. Home run, got it, I believe.
I think so, and it wasn't a good one, and that's what he didn't want to do. And we just talked about not making a mistake with the slider. He was having success with the fastball up. Davis hadn't caught up with the ball. He was following it straight back or off to the right side, and he took a pitch that's a little bit slower, and we'll get to see it right here.
2-ball, 2-strike count, and that ball was right out over the middle of the plate, and just between the knees and right around the thighs. Bingo. Get in a situation like that as we take a look at the cheering Pam Davis. Get in a situation like that, the hitter is just trying to protect it, not to try to keep from striking out. He gets the ball with not quite as much speed on it and centers the ball. And bingo.
Now Dick Williams down on the Padre dugout as the Chicago Cubs have come back to tie it at 2. 0-1 to Leon Durham. And the breaking pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The first home run that the Cubs have hit since their record-setting 5 in game number 1 at Wrigley Field. Lawler just trying to collect the thoughts a little bit. Deep right field, way back, and this ball is gone. And the Cubs take the lead 3-2.
Bull Durham had not had a base hit. He's 1 for 14. Was working on an 0 for 13, and bingo. I've seen the big guys do it time and time again. All of a sudden, they get on a roll.
Well, there's the pitch again. Slider over the center of the plate. I'll tell you what Durham has been doing. We get to see it from another angle, but what he had been doing going into this game was a little bit too anxious. He was swinging at the pitcher's pitch. Today, he waited and got himself a mistake and hit it out the ballpark.
That's exactly right. He was trying to do a little bit too much, Earl.
Larry Bowa, as Garvey makes a fine play. The side is retired, but not before. The Cubs come back with 3. On 2 hits, 2 home runs, a 2-run homer by Davis, a single shot by Durham. Look at this play again by Garvey, and we go to the bottom of the 4th. The Cubs lead it 3-2.
It happens in baseball so often.
Kevin McReynolds.
This one's a long way from over. We're going to have some excitement here tonight.
Cubs on top, 3-2. That's outside. The count 1-1 to McReynolds. On deck, Martinez, followed by Templeton. McReynolds had the home run a couple of nights ago. That's to right field. As Moreland will give ground. He's there. Out number 1. Getting a little darker as you look from our Goodyear blimp. Beautiful shot. Packed house here at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. The Cubs on top, 3 runs on 3 hits. The Padres 2 runs on 4 hits as Carmelo Martinez stands in.
Shouldn't be too many problems fielding a ball now, Don.
Nope.
As Earl said, it's gotten dark now.
There's a strike in the count, 0-1.
Well, Sanderson's made 3 excellent pitches on the outside half of that plate this inning.
Well, that sometimes can just add a new breath of life in a pitcher. Seeing your ball club come back, and he's very quickly out in front of Martinez, 0-2.
How about the umpire?
Yes, sir. Up high, 1-2, the count to Martinez. Martinez flied to right his first time at bat. Well, it should be back in the hitter's edge a little bit now with the darkness setting in.
You can see the ball better.
Curveball just missed. Sanderson wanted it, so did Davis.
I'll tell you, it looked good. It looked good from here. This ball looks like a strike. It just looks like it's right there, and Jody Davis ready to throw it to third, but hit the ball.
The 2-2 pitch. Got it.
That's an outstanding pitch right there.
Yeah, well, the excellent curveball he threw before this really set this hard fastball up as we look at it. We see it coming in. It's on the outside half of the plate. The curveball that he threw the pitch before had a lot to do with helping that fastball get by Martinez.
Here's Gary Templeton. He started everything off in the Padre third, and a little looper in the center field. Dernier broke back. It dropped for the base hit. He takes a curveball outside. Gary later came on to score as the Padres pushed across their 2 runs on 4 hits in the third. With the Cubs, a 2-out, 2-run home run by Davis, followed by a solo shot by Durham, have taken the lead 3-2. That game in the Chicago fourth. Out of play left side. The count moves even at 1-1. Last pitch by Sanderson, clocked at 92, so Scott is throwing well. Threw that ball by him. 1-2 the count.
It looks right now that he's getting command right now. Looks like he's throwing the ball a little better.
Well, he's doing what every manager would like to do. When your team scores, go shut the other team down, as you were talking about, Reggie. Left side, Boa right there to Durham, and that'll do it. So the Padres are gone in the fourth. 3 up, 3 down. We're through 4 from San Diego, and the Cubs are...
But unbeaten Florida State is trailing Memphis State 17-14 at halftime. And in the third quarter, in a driving rainstorm at South Bend, Indiana, Notre Dame leads Miami 13-6.
Now right here, Scott Sanderson leading off and flying to right field. Tony Gwynn with the catch, and there's one gone.
Pretty good wood on that ball for a pitcher.
Yes, he did. And we'll go to the top of the order. Bob Dernier, who's 0 for 2, a struck out, was on a fielder's choice. The Cubs on top, 3-2. Top half of the 5th inning. The Cubs needing a win to win it all. The Padres needing a win to force it into the 5th and final game tomorrow afternoon. That's it. The long ball by Chicago. The 2-run homer by Davis, and the single shot by Leon Durham. Dernier taking low, the count 1-0. And I want to take a look at the baseball. Home plate umpire Terry Booby does that. See right there, Lawler only 2 wins in his last 9 starts. His last start on the 25th of September against the Giants. There's the strike by Lawler. He was defeated by San Francisco 4-3.
Well, both pitchers have thrown well enough for me as far as their manager showing confidence in them, sticking with them, and starting them in this ball game tonight.
1 ball and 1. Check that. 2 balls and a strike. Well, the big thing that I think that both managers are thinking right here, if they can get to a lead, neither one of them want to see the 2 big men coming out of the bullpen.
How true that is.
Jimmy Fry, he doesn't want to see a Padre lead with Gossage. And Dick Williams does not want to see a Cub lead. No, you're right, with Lee Smith. And he walks Dernier. He did not have anything on that fastball. So that is walk number 3 issued by Lawler. And you put speed aboard with Brian Sandberg to come on.
Well, we said that Williams would move quickly, and you look up on the board, and there's 3 runs there, but there's not much he could do about it when it's bang, bang out the park. 2 swings.
The one thing that Dick Williams commented on, he says, I will move fast. He says, I cannot do anything about a home run, but he says, I will not let him try and sustain a rally. And the bell rings again in the Padre bullpen. Before we had Hawkins and Dravecki. We'll see. There's Hawkins, a right-hander. Up high, and all of a sudden, that fastball did not look like it had much on it.
He looks like he's starting to struggle right now, and again, you'll see a man like Mr. Sandberg just settle down right now and know that the pitcher is struggling. He just got done walking a batter. He's going to try to put the bat on the ball, and I mean hard.
That last pitch at 88, so he has been consistently in the 90s, and that is a pretty good drop.
He is starting to come down.
1 ball and no strikes to Sandberg with Matthews on deck. For the Cubs, 2-4-0 for the Padres. See those eyes are near, like we watched Wiggins before. High 2-0, and that did not have much
try to do as a manager sitting in the dugout is not second-guess my catcher. But I got to question that slider call last inning a little bit to Jody Davis, but I know Kennedy didn't want it where it was thrown. That's the big thing.
Not from the middle coming in. You want it from in, but not from the middle in. As Norm Sherry, the pitching coach, will go out and talk to Lawler, Kennedy alongside. You see the RAK, that's for Ray Kroc, the owner of the San Diego Padres, who passed away earlier this year. And indeed, the dedicated season by the Padres to Mr. Kroc. That's on the sleeves of all of the Padre uniforms. 2 balls and no strikes to Sandberg, and here's where you cannot aim it.
The situation also where one of the things that Jim Fry talked to Ryan Sandberg about in spring training, when you get that count 2 balls and no strikes in your favor, 3-1 in your favor, Whale, get the bat head out in front.
Gets it in a pretty good spot. 2 balls and a strike.
And Dernier on that pitch, 2-0. Did show no signs of going, but right now it's a run situation again.
Dernier on first. That's his 5th walk in this series, so he has been over there quite a bit, and they will chase him back again. So he's been on base 8 times.
He is doing his job.
There he goes. Good jump. Inside. Throw through. Not nearly in time. No chance.
Well, when you get on first base, you create all kinds of things. You have a chance to steal a base. You open up the hole. You change the defense. You change the pitcher's pattern. You got to look at Bobby Dernier. Great speed. 45 stolen bases during the season. And you see him get a couple of steps before the pitcher even throws the ball home. Not even a play. He could have stood up.
Now 3 balls and a strike to Sandberg. Dernier at second base.
A lot of players, I don't like to see them slide head first to take the chance on hurting their fingers. Bobby Dernier thinks exactly the opposite. He feels it's safer, and he feels it gets him down to second base as fast as he can get there.
Walks him in a good save by Kennedy. So Sandberg's aboard, and that'll bring on Matthews.
One thing about that sliding head first, here comes Dick Williams, but sliding head first, you can't get your cleats caught.
That's true.
Now Dick Williams making his way out to the mound, and I believe he might go to the bullpen. He already points to the bullpen. It's a second trip. Of course, he has to go down there. So we have a break in the action. 2 men on. We're in the top of the 5th. It's 3-2, Chicago.
On 2 college football scores, Miami has gotten untracked a bit in the 3rd quarter in the rain at Notre Dame and turned 13-7 into 14-13. Alonzo Highsmith has 2 touchdowns for the Hurricanes. And just like unbeaten Florida State, unbeaten Vanderbilt is trailing Tulane 17-10 in the 3rd quarter. So Memphis State is upsetting Florida State. Tulane may be headed for an upset of Vanderbilt. Let's go back to Don Drysdale in San Diego.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Andy Hawkins comes on. Hawkins a record of 8-9 on the year, making his 2nd appearance in these playoffs. He worked an inning and 3rd in game number 2 over at Wrigley Field. See the numbers on Andy and a 4.68 ERA. Hawkins, 24 years old, a 6'3", 205-pounder. So Hawkins will be the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 5th inning. But right here, he's got a lot of work to do as Gary Matthews stands in.
I'm sure Dick Williams stayed as long as he could with Tim Lawler because he's leading off the next inning, Don.
Exactly. Now they wheel around, go back, but Dernier back in time.
One of Dick Williams' favorite plays where the shortstop breaks in behind, then breaks back. The runner has a tendency to get a little bigger lead when the shortstop breaks back, and the second baseman broke in trying for the pickoff.
Good speed on the bases in Dernier and Sandberg. Matthews has bounced to 3rd, walked and scored. Down low with a breaking pitch, 1-0 the count.
Well, Mr. Hawkins has not come in a good situation. Gary Matthews is due. He's a good clutch hitter. He's been their guy who has led them down the stretch when he is due to hit the ball hard. Hawkins has work cut out for him.
There's a strike. Came back with a hard slider.
Yes, this situation is just as important, if not more important, than when we get to the 8th and 9th inning. The ball game's on the line right here.
Absolutely.
The Cubs on top 3-2. We're in the top of the 5th inning. 1 out, 2 on. Over that outside corner with a fastball, 1-2 the count.
Hawkins is another fellow that can throw the fastball 90 miles an hour.
So he has a problem sometimes of being a little too fine, or he'll try to make too perfect of a pitch.
2-2 the count. Just in 7 league championship games, right there, you see, for Matthews, 13 RBIs already.
I'll tell you the reason I'm up there is because I've played more games than anybody else.
Right back to Hawkins. He goes to Templeton for 1. Back to first, a double play. So the Cubs are gone. No runs, no hits. They leave a man. We go to the bottom of the 5th, 3-2. The Cubs on top, and we'll be back.
Thank you, Jim. I had 4 hits in the World Series once, and I think Robin Yount also had 5 hits the same day that Molitor did.
Well, I'll tell you, that young man right there, what a player he is, Paul Molitor. Here's Flannery. He will pinch hit for Hawkins as Drovecki loosens up in the Padre bullpen. He has been up, excuse me, once already. Flannery was at bat as a pinch hitter. As you look at Drovecki in the Padre bullpen, that was over at Wrigley Field. He was hit by a pitch. So it'll be Flannery, Wiggins, and Gwynn. Off of the glove. And now will they get anybody? Here comes Say. No! Sanderson, I believe, thought he had it and then was slow going after the ball.
Well, here it is again. Just a ground ball back to the pitcher. It was hit hard. He went after it. Say beat him to the ball, but once it got out of Sanderson's glove, it was a base hit all the way.
Almost.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Sanderson wasn't going to throw him out anyway. It's going to have to be saved. So here comes Jimmy Fry.
Well, that goes to show you that Tim Flannery hustling all the way. He left the batter's box, thought he had a chance to get a base hit. He did not give up for one moment. If he would have slowed up or been frustrated at all and just broke his stride, he would not have beat that ball out. Hustle all the time. It's important.
Warren Brewster just got up. Now Fry wants Ron Say to come in. Jimmy Fry motioned to his third baseman, Ron Say. Come on over here. Here we have the flip-flop of the bullpens. We have the Padre bullpen down the left field line, of course, and the Cubs down the right field line where both managers can look straight ahead. So they have their little say.
There's a difference between the National and the American League. In the American League, you're only allowed to have one infielder come to the mound. Don't ask me why, but that's the way it is. Maybe Earl is a manager, maybe you know. In the National League, they let everyone come and have their say.
It's just the National League against the American League. They think it looks more or less semi-pro to have a lot of players in there. But you want to talk, they want to talk over a bunt situation here. You want all your infielders in there.
Here's Wiggins. We'll see how Dick Williams wants to play it. He's going to bunt first base side and a good one. Durham has a play. That is to Sandberg as Flannery goes to second.
Very good bunt. A very good bunt. Get a chance to see a lot of baseball right now. Running, strategy, good bunting, advancing the runner. Alan Wiggins squares early, gets the bat out in front, and bunts that ball right down the first base line, makes the first baseman Durham fielder.
Tony Gwynn.
Sandberg covers first, and they've got one out in the manual scoring position.
And Tony Gwynn will be the hitter. Gwynn has bounced back to the pitcher, hit a sacrifice fly to drive in a run.
Well, if you're a Chicago Cub, you do not like to see this man go to bat without any base hits.
Slow curve, low. Sanderson wanted it. Warren Brewster throwing in the bullpen for the Chicago Cubs. They still give Gwynn the alley in right center. Moreland straight away deep in right and Denier slightly in left center.
Well, they're throwing him that slow curve, and they've had him out in front of that slow curve a lot tonight.
He keeps the bat back, though, Earl. This guy keeps his bat behind the ball and his weight behind the ball all the time.
Larry Bowa will go to first in time. Gwynn is gone. Flannery moves to third.
That's the big out for him.
Big out to Garvey.
Well, the big out was Hawkins when he got two of them at one time in a big jam. He did his job tonight.
He sure did. He kept the Padres in the ball game as Steve Garvey will stand in. Well, the Padres with a tying run 90 feet away. There's two outs. We're in the bottom of the fifth inning. The Cubs on top 3-2.
You get a chance to see a real pro at work right here. Mr. Steve Garvey will have all his attention focused on getting a base hit, driving this run in. He knows what this run means to his ball club, and he knows this is the man that everybody in the ballpark wants at the plate right now.
That breaking pitch outside, and the count 1-0.
Now we might see him go with the pitch to right field, Reg.
Possibly.
Now
If the pitcher gets ahead of him.
I'm not quite as sure this time. I say possibly. I'm not going to bet this time.
1 ball and no strikes to count. That's Brewster in the bullpen. Outside, 2-0. With Nettles on deck.
This might be the wrong time to be that careful with Garvey because you got Nettles, left-handed hitter, coming up, and that's the winning run standing at home plate. You don't want to put him on base.
No, you do not, and you do not want to give Greg Nettles a chance to rise to the occasion, a chance to get his adrenaline going.
That's Flannery at third. He represents the tying run. Up the middle, base hit center field. We're tied at 3.
He went to the right side of second base.
That's a hitter situation. 2 balls and no strikes. The hitter sits back and gets a good full cut, and you just can't do it with a man like Steve Garvey. He knows how to handle those kind of situations. Here's the ball. Here's the pitch. You see Mr. Garvey with that front shoulder in, driving the ball right up through the middle. Bingo. RBI. 3-3. And the crowd's having fun now.
Well, the crowd on their feet as you see Flannery congratulated by Martinez, Templeton alongside, and here indeed is Greg Nettles. Outside.
Ron Sandberg's 4 feet back on the grass at second base.
As well he should be, that's all. Here comes Jimmy Fry, and they'll go to the bullpen. He will not give Sanderson a chance to fall any further behind to have to make a mistake. So Jimmy Fry to the mound. Warren Brewster has been throwing. We have a pitching change and a break in the action. There's 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning, and game number 4, and we're tied at 3. Hitting it hard, putting it in play, and by Ryan Sandberg to drive in the tying run. Now Sanderson down in the dugout as Warren Broussard comes on and takes over the pitching chores as the wave moves around Jack Murphy Stadium.
I think you can say that Mr. Garvey has answered the bell. He has stepped up front and answered the phone when they called.
Well, Steve, with a big key double in the 3rd to drive in a run. He singled here with 2 outs in the 5th to drive in another. That is tied to score as you look at the wave move around. 58,354. There are exactly 8 more people here tonight than what there were on Thursday night.
Told you there'd be a few more people here. They just get them in here. A few more just somehow. Say what you want about Mr. Steve Garvey. He just gets the job done day after day, game after game after game.
Year after year after year.
Yes, sir. Durham will play behind Garvey as Broussard inherits a 1-0 count to Greg Nettles, who has fly to right and walked. Just missed it, popped it up. He was looking fastball, got it, pops it up to Sandberg, and that'll do it. So the Padres are gone. They pick up a run to tie. 2 hits, and we're through 5 complete. It's a 3-3 tie.
See the hitting star of the ball game, Steve Garvey, and a one-time general manager of Steve Garvey, who is now the general manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, Al Campanis. You had 3 of the infielders that are playing for these 2 ball clubs, Lopes, Say, and Garvey, and Steve Garvey can still hit, can he?
Yes, he can, and I just want to say this, Tim. At the time, we made him a bona fide offer. We didn't ask him to leave. He chose to leave, but
he had that right. He played out his option, and that was it. But we had a turnover. We had the entire infield play for 9 years, and we thought it was about time that we began to have younger people come in, trying to build a ball club for a decade.
Don Drysdale, I think you know Al Campanis, a super baseball man, and he was your employer at one time, Donald.
Yes, sir, Timmy. And he has been around a long, long time. As Dravecki has the first pitch, a strike to Moreland. There's a bouncer hit to Nettles. On to Garvey, and there's one away.
Garvey can still play.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about all the other comments, but I know he can still play.
Well, the one thing when you stop and think about the Lopes and the Garveys and the Says, they all came up and they took some other people's spot. That's where a lot of people sometimes have a tendency to forget. Somewhere along the line, when you're an owner and you're building an organization, you have to start making some moves to allow some of the other players to come.
Along with that, the money in the game now has changed. It's so new. Players have gone from $100,000 a year to $2 million a year, and you have to make the kind of decisions that Al Campanis and some of the owners and general managers have to make. I don't envy them, because all a guy has to do is have a good year, and bingo, you're going to wind up looking bad. I left New York. The next year I hit 39 home runs. Somebody looks bad. You never know.
2 balls and no strike. You saw Dravecki how that earned run average started moving up the ladder, and you'd love to have that thing be in reverse, Earl, wouldn't you?
Yes, you would.
Ron Says 0 for 2 has fouled the Garvey and popped to short. Has the count, 2 balls and a strike. Jody Davis on deck. And very quickly the count even 2 and 2 as Say will bark at home plate umpire Terry Bovee, and Jimmy Fry a little unhappy.
Looks definitely upset. Here's the pitch. It's too low. Place at 3 and 1. It's 2 and 2.
Big difference for the hitter when you're hitting with that kind of count. That's where it's important to have good, consistent umpires and good, consistent calls.
A little bit low. The count goes full at 3 and 2.
Almost the same pitch.
Just about. 1 out, and we're in the top of the 6th inning. Jimmy Fry down in that Cub dugout. Looper foul right side, full count 3 and 2. Stoddard throwing in the Chicago bullpen. There's Stoddard.
You mentioned earlier, Don, that it'd be interesting to see how long both starters would go, since they're 4 starters. Again, the bullpens are going to play a big play in tonight's game.
Well, it's already there. The bullpen is there. Pops him up. Gary Templeton has it for round number 2.
You couldn't have got 2 bigger outs than Hawkins got last inning.
Oh, they were big. Runners at first and second, 1 out. Matthews the hitter, and has Matthews to hit a comebacker for the double play.
I say this ball game's won in the bullpen, gentlemen.
Here's Jody Davis. He had the 2-run homer with 2 outs in the top of the 4th inning to tie it at 2 at that time as he goes through the fastball 0-1 the count.
He was going for another one.
Well, Dave Dravecki has real good command of all his pitches. He's got real good control. I faced him a couple of times in spring training. He's got real good movement on his fastball, and I just don't think he's just coming to the ball game. He's fresh. I just don't think he's going to give Jody or anybody else for an inning or 2 a ball hit out of the ballpark.
Just inside the count, 1 and 1. He's got it at this last pitch by Dravecki.
Close.
Kennedy called that ball inside, and he hit the mitt.
That's foul right side, and it's 1 and 2 the count. 3 runs on 6 hits, no errors for the Padres. 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors for the Chicago Cubs. 5 home runs the last 25 and a third innings by Dravecki. Right center field, that's going to be a base hit. Gwynn over in a hurry to cut it off in the alley. Davis around first. He'll hold right there with a long single.
And that's a nice play. That's a nice play.
Well, the National League Championship Series, an ABC Sports exclusive, is being brought to you by Stroh's and Stroh's Light, proud sponsors of the Stroh's Run for Liberty.
hit into right center field. The fastball out over the plate. You saw Jody Davis make a real good pass at that ball, and a very fine play by Tony Gwynn.
Here's Leon Durham, homered his last time at bat. He got that pitch up as Kennedy, you see, reminding him just a little bit on a 1-1 count. Durham, he hit it a ton. It got out of here in a hurry.
And we'll see if that builds his confidence.
Out of play left side.
See if he stays within himself, doesn't swing at bad balls and waits for a ball to hit. Waits for a good pitch to hit. Sometimes that home run will take so much pressure off your shoulders, just let you relax.
Play left side. There you
behind
see
that
Kennedy.
ball right there, Don.
And Kennedy, Earl, reminding him, too, get that hand up.
Definitely. He had those pitches by him, though. He's fouling the ball off on the left side of the field. I wouldn't want to slow up or throw any kind of breaking ball when a fella's fouling them off to the opposite field.
I certainly agree with you, Earl. And that really is not a good swing right there that Leon took. He was not selective. That ball was up and out of the strike zone. As we take a look at this pitch, Leon Durham with his hands out almost right over top of the plate. Kennedy calls for the ball inside. This ball is up and not a strike.
Might have been where he wanted to throw it, though.
1-2 the count. Durham is a good low ball hitter.
Yes, he is.
Got him looking. Durham doesn't like it. Side retired as he barks at Terry Bova.
For one thing, we see Dave Dravecky. For one thing, nobody likes to be called out on strikes. It's just an uncomfortable feeling. You don't like it. He must have thought that ball was outside. Umpire hollers strike 3. He doesn't like it.
We go to the bottom of this sixth. 28-23 could be number 1 and number 2 next week from Dallas, Texas. As Kennedy takes a strike, 0-1 the count. Kennedy has singled and bounced to first. Good breaking pitch, 0-2.
That is a tough pitch to hit for a left-hand hitter. You just can't get to it.
Greg Leffer's throwing in the bullpen for the San Diego Padres. Down low, 1-2 the count. It'll be Kennedy, McReynolds, and Martinez here in the Padres sixth. A 3-3 tie.
And it's a game of bullpens, just like you said, Reg. Pinch hit situations and bullpens.
Luke Powell left side.
This is when the managers earn their money. Is that right, Earl?
That's right.
Well, there's a future Padre or a future box seat holder right there. He's probably wondering what in the world is all that noise.
But he's enjoying it.
Yes, sir. Down low, 2-2 the count. Dernier slightly in left center with Moreland deep straightaway right, so they give Kennedy the alley in right center. There's your defensive alignment. Shifted to the left on the left side of the infield.
Had to be one of those people that when he gets about 50 years old, he'll say, I was there.
I remember when. 2-2.
By that time, there'll be this 58,000 will be 658,000.
Yeah. Down low, full count, 3-2.
He had him 0-2. Tries to be fine, and now he's got a 3-2 situation.
And has got to throw a strike. Well, if you can throw a 2-2, they say you can throw a 3-2. See if he comes with a slider. Up the middle as Boa moves over, makes the play, throws him out.
That ball was destined to be a base hit. Ball was hit good, but Larry Boa had Terry Kennedy played just right. Ball right back up over the middle, and you just wonder sometimes, how could that not be a base hit? It's called scouting reports and knowing how to defense hitters.
Makes a play on the second base side of the bag.
The trend for him is to hit the ball up the middle. That's what our statistician Jerry
McReynolds off the glove as they will not have a play.
A researcher, Jerry Klein.
Well, they had 2 outs, 2 chances at outs on that ball. Brustar could have fielded himself, And if he had not touched it, I think Bo would have had it up the middle again.
I got to go right along with you, Earl, because he was going to move right into the play. But it just bounced off of the glove of Brewster, and that'll bring on Carmelo Martinez, who was 0 for 2 tonight, is flied to right and struck out. A 3-3 tie. The infield double play depth. The outfield straight away. You see Durham holding McReynolds. Say back at third. Shot should be 2. Boa goes to Sandberg and back to Durham. They make the tag.
That ball was hit right on the button.
No runs on a hit, no errors, and nobody left.
Carmelo Martinez hit this ball right on the button, made Larry Boa flinch at it. Look at that. Now that's what you call a slide, but to no avail. A good throw.
So we're in a 3-3 tie through 3. We'll be back with more baseball after this. Well, Kevin McReynolds, you see out there, he's kind of rubbing a few spots. Look at this breakup of the double play, or the attempted breakup. Now he comes in hard. Look at, he hits that bag with the knee as we're back to live action, and Boa takes a strike. But as he hit the bag that hard, he had a knee problem when he was signed out of the University of Arkansas, had major surgery in 1981. The day that he was drafted, he was wearing a cast up to his hip. He was walking around a little slowly. The 1-1 pitch to Boa. Fouled right side. It's a 3-3 tie. We're on the top of the 7th inning. And we're getting into Goose Gossage and Lee Smith territory.
And just the way they do things in the major leagues and in professional sports. When Kevin McReynolds had his knee operated on, San Diego Padres filmed the operation and had their doctors look at it.
1-2 to Boa, who has doubled. Fouled out, bounces it to Templeton at short. And in between hop, throws to get him. 1 away.
Gary Templeton told me he's very, very comfortable here now, Don.
And Davey Lopes is going to come out, and he's going to hit for Warren Brewster as we have some action in the bullpen for the Cubs. So Lopes, you heard from Al Campanis of the Dodgers a while ago with Tim McCarver talking about Say and Garvey. And now Davey Lopes has started, loosens up in the bullpen.
Batting for the pitcher, Brewster.
Started.
Davey Lopes.
You talk about some of the older ball players, Don. I think older ball players now are aware that you just can't make that kind of money that they're making outside of sports, no matter how much they can make, no matter what kind of job they have outside, and they keep themselves in shape a lot longer.
Well, there's a pretty good statement right there. 16 to 17 National League Championship Series games.
And he can hit the ball out of the park. Don't sell him short.
Loops it, and Dravecki, and it'll be Kennedy for the catch. Well, you're right, Earl. He can. He's a dead-high fastball hitter, and he can hit it a long way, but not this time.
I think on that one right there, he must not have had enough club.
Yeah, he definitely didn't have enough
He looked like he was a little short right there.
When he walked back to the dugout, we get to see it again. It's a fastball that moved right in on the fist. Jammed him.
Not quite enough club.
Now very quickly, 2 gone, and here's Bobby Dernier in the top half of the 7th inning. A 3-3 tie, 3-7-0 for the Padres, 3-4-0 for the Cubs. Dernier has struck out, on a fielder's choice, walked in a stolen a base, takes a strike, 0-1. Stoddard is ready to go in the bullpen. You had that big guy, Earl.
Yes, I did, and he'll come in throwing as hard as he can.
For as long as he can.
Another broken bat.
And he will guard that line because the ball that's hit to his right side, if it gets by him, is a double. If he can keep that ball to his glove hand, it will only be a single.
Especially with 2 outs.
That's the reason why they play on the line.
A ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Well, a lot of people, Earl, have wondered about, will we ever go away from that particular theory? What are your thoughts as a manager?
Well, I know Jim Palmer, he used to like his third baseman to play normal. He'd say, we play him there all the time. That's because that's where we think he's going to hit it. Why do we change in the late inning? And he's got a good point.
1 ball and 2 strikes. You see the story from San Diego in Game 4. Down low, got a little piece of the meat hand of Kennedy.
But with 2 out, I don't want him running second base with 2 out. With 2 out, I want it to take 3 hits. 3 hits to get him in.
I say when you have a ball player like Greg Nettles, who is a great fielder, or anybody that's a great fielder, you let them do what they want to do. Let them play where they want to play.
Good slider. Dernier is gone. The Cubs are gone. 3 up, 3 down. And we go to the bottom of the 7th inning from San Diego in game number 4. It's a 3-3 tie. Indeed, just a beautiful evening here in Southern California as Tim Stoddard comes on to take over the pitching chores, and he will face Templeton, a pinch hitter, as Gossage is throwing in the bullpen, and then Alan Wiggins. Low and inside, 1-0. There's a new commissioner of baseball, Peter Ueberroth, right there in the middle of your screen. 2-0.
I got a question here. Why don't they let Bowie Kuhn finish the World Series and let Mr. Ueberroth start fresh?
Well, I don't know.
Well, they
Interesting, right?
Bowie was signed probably through the end of the year, and the end of the year is over.
Okay.
But you're right. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
That's down the left field line. Matthews has a beat on that over towards the line, and that is out number 1.
I promise not to ask any more questions like that.
Let me say this. If Stoddard's right, he can throw the ball high, too. It's over 90 miles an hour. He gets a lot of fly balls. But this big fella has a tendency to get wild out there and overthrow at times.
I just wonder, Earl, do you want a guy in the ball game right now throwing high fastballs? Do you want to take chances like that?
Well, that's his style, and if he throws it hard enough, I'd let the Goose, we see him right here, I'd let him throw high.
There was a little difference there.
Here's Bobby Brown with good speed, hitting .251 on the year. He's in the championship series 0 for 1. That bounces in the dirt.
Bobby Brown, a switch hitter with a lot of power from both sides of the plate. He's a much better left-hand hitter. He's also got some speed, and he's a big fella. He's about 6'2", 6'2 and a half, about 230 pounds, but he's got outstanding speed.
1 ball and no strikes. Well, there are only 2 relievers in the National League that gave up more home runs than Stoddard this year. That's outside. Holland and De Leon. Well, that's interesting.
I wouldn't want him pitching high if I knew that.
No. 2-0 the count. Up high, it's 3-0. And you've got speed with Brown. And speed on deck and Wiggins.
Swinging away or taking right now, Earl?
What?
Taking?
Boxing on 4 pitches.
Question, Earl.
All right.
Was he taking or swinging away?
I think he was taken right there, especially a fellow with speed.
What kind of a player do you let swing away in that kind of situation?
Well, the fellow that you know is going to get a good strike, the fellow that is in the lineup almost every day that you know can hit it out of the park if he gets it. Now, Brown can do that.
It's just interesting to me that you think about a guy that plays every day, makes a difference whether he's pinch hitting or not.
Here's Alan Wiggins, 1 for 2 tonight. Takes a strike in the count 0-1. Wiggins says to himself, how can you walk a man on 4 pitches and then turn around and hit a spot like that on me? I don't know.
A perfect pitch. We saw it again.
Say up on the grass at third.
Brown doesn't have a big lead. When he was a young player, he came through the Baltimore Oriole organization, and he had a tendency to get picked off a lot and run into a lot of outs at one
He's
time.
played with several organizations, well, the Yankees, Seattle. He's been around. He's found a home here.
Oh, he had a running start. Throw through, not nearly in
Oh,
time.
my. No chance.
Woo, did
That
he
looks
have
like
a
one of-
start?
That looks like one of my steals. When you get my age, you got to steal them. You got to sneak them. That's what you call a walking, running lead. That is a perfect example of what they're talking about when a man has a walking lead. Look at that. He's already got 3 full strides before Tim Stoddard lets the ball go. And I don't care how well Jody Davis throws because he makes an outstanding throw right on the money. It's no chance.
That was a running lead. That wasn't a walking
That's
lead.
right. That was... Earl, let me ask you a question right here. Now you're Alan Wiggins. Now I'm going to put you in a hitter spot. And here comes Jimmy Fry as Boa was going to go out. Fry and Davis are going to go out and talk to Stoddard. Put you in a hitter spot. You've got speed at second base in Brown, and once again, you're still the hitter with Wiggins. You're going to still thinking about trying to maybe just put yourself aboard? You think maybe a bunt for the base hit? What are you thinking about as you look at Frazier in the bullpen?
Well, both could be effective. If I'm Wiggins, I want to be swinging the bat. Naturally, if I catch, say back. And I know I can beat that front out. I'm going to give it a shot. You wind up with men on the corners, first and third, with a 351 hitter during the season coming up.
Well, Jimmy Fry has had his say, so he might have been having a little chat about what Wiggins is going to do.
Well, for me right now, if I'm the manager, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Earl, I want this man to swing the bat. Give me 2 full chances of getting a base hit.
Well,
he hit 270. He can hit.
That's right. That's good philosophy. But he's got Say in. Look where Say's way in at third base.
That's the left field. Matthews breaking back, has the ball. That is out number 2. Throw back to second base, and Brown is there.
You know, those fake bunts help you also by bringing that third baseman in and then whacking it down.
Another situation right here. You've got a base open at first base. A 350 hitter here, and a man behind him who's hot. Steve Garvey, a great clutch player.
Well, you put the pressure on your pitcher here, Reg. You say, let's get him out, but don't give him nothing good.
Is this a situation as well as when you tell your pitcher, who would you like to pitch to?
They're putting him on, Reg.
They're going to put him on.
Yes, sir. They already have seen that 351. They will just look out. They will just take their shot right-handed to right-hand. It's strictly a percentage shot. That's all.
That's what this is. But they're dealing right now to a man with a hot hand.
Yes,
Steve
they
Garvey.
are.
And it didn't take Fry long to make a decision here.
Not at all. As soon as Gwynn came up, he had yelled at Davis, and Davis stuck the hand out and said, let's go.
I don't know about this situation here. The Padres cannot ask for anything more. They've got their leading hitter right there getting a base on balls. He had a chance. The Cubs went around him. They've got Steve Garvey coming to the plate, a man that can hit in the clutch. Their leading RBI hitter. He's got 2 base hits tonight already. He's driven in a couple of runs. You can't ask for much more. You can't say they didn't have a chance.
That's the story. 3-3 tie. The Padres have to win to take it to tomorrow. The Cubs trying to win to end it here tonight. Here's Garvey. Oh, high slider.
It was a slider, so we know there's no intent. That's a breaking ball that just got away from him. I mean, that's a poor pitch. See it again right here. Didn't slide either.
Well, I think, as you know, Earl, Tim Stoddard does have a tendency to get wild.
Well, we said that right when he came in the ballgame.
I think right here, Larry Boa saw that last pitch, and I think he's going to walk in and tell Stoddard, say, come on now, let's not try and overthrow that. Stay within yourself.
It's experience showing right there.
And he will walk over, and he will have a word with Sandberg.
He's been there before.
They might have changed the signs also.
Well, that's very possible. We get a good look at Davis giving the signs, and the man Brown at second base can see that also.
1-1 the count. Well, we'll look at those sequence signs. Davis checked over to the dugout. We'll see.
The thing I like about Steve Garvey is he fights constantly to keep that front shoulder in. If you look at Jody Davis giving so many signs, Looks like he's calling for SOS.
Well, the key right here, if you're a man at second base, you're not necessarily interested in what the pitch is, but if Davis sets inside, you know it's not a breaking pitch. It's all you're signaling is location.
We talked about that before. Location is so important, and that's easy to give. The runner at second base can give that easily.
And Jody Davis thinks he sees something.
And what they want to find out, Sauter just wants to double check the signs. But actually what we're talking about is if Davis gives the location away too quick and Brown can relay to Garvey that he's setting inside, Garvey's got to be looking fastball.
You can tip sometimes whether you drop one arm or whether you look back towards second base or you look where the location is. You may touch your helmet. Sometimes they say some hitters will sneak looks at the catcher.
There's a base hit left field. Bobby Brown, kind of a late start, but he's going to come on. The throw coming to the plate. Throw cut off. No play at third. 4-3 San Diego.
Oh, man, it's raining beer. Somebody's happy up there.
Indeed, Steve Garvey with a hot hand tonight.
Here's the pitch. Garvey right on it, doing everything that he can possibly do tonight to keep his team ahead. Matthews had no chance to throw him out at home plate. Hits Say, the cutoff man. Say keeps the runner at first.
He did not make a good throw right there, Earl. He had no chance to throw out Bobby Brown. Well, they made the choice to go around Tony Gwynn to pitch to Steve Garvey, a man with a hot hand, and now he's got 3 hits and 3 RBIs.
Well, don't think poor Jim Fry won't be asked that question 1,000 times tonight.
Well, he hit a breaking ball.
Now there's the man waiting in the wings.
This is one thing you do not want to see. You don't want to see this guy, Donnie.
Here's Nettles. On that outside corner, Nettles is hot.
Interesting, Durham's way back at first base, hoping that Garvey will steal second.
Well, I'll tell
so
you.
they can walk Nettles.
There is one call, put a thought in Nettles' mind very quickly, 0-2. 2 outs, 2 on, a run in, and the Padres on top, 4-3. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Oh, for the glove! Here comes Gwynn. Garvey to second base, 5-3, San Diego.
Tim Stoddard has a chance to get wild, and that wild high, he throws a pitch here that's off the glove of Jody Davis, and I don't know whether that ball tailed away from Jody Davis or whether he should have caught that ball.
This is super slow-mo. Davis should have had the ball. He just relaxed a little bit too much, and it went off the end of his glove.
That's exactly it. So another run in. As these Padre fans are on their feet. A ball and 2 strikes now to Nettles. Garvey at second base, 5-3. Padres on top. Up high, 2-2. If indeed there is a game 5, we will be coming your way at 4 o'clock Eastern time. That'll be tomorrow.
Saw Jody Davis move all the way outside, and right now they know they've got a base open. They do not have to pitch to Greg Nettles. We'll see if they come after him. Does not have to give him a good ball.
Out in front of the plate, Stoddard will have a play as he goes to Durham, and that'll do it. The other side is retired, but not before the Padres come up with 2 runs on only 1 hit, no errors, and they leave a man aboard. And we're through 7. It is 5-3 San Diego. And there's the man, the Goose. He will face Sandberg, Matthews, and Moreland in the top of the 8th, and the Padres on top 5-3.
The situation here that you do not want to be in when you are a Chicago Cub. All that man has to do is just go out on the mound and show you his number, and it's an advantage San Diego.
And there's heat. Sandberg 0 for 1. Has walked twice. That was 95 miles per hour. 0-2.
I'm sure that right now each pitch will get a little bit faster. He loosens up, takes him a few pitches to loosen up, and he'll be throwing hard, harder, and hardest.
Especially when he gets ahead.
Oh, yes, that's the story. Top of the 8th inning. Well, if you recall at the top of the show, in our pregame show, you had a chance to meet the Goose. Bounce to third. Nettles has to hurry, and they throw it away. Nettles got his feet crossed up, and he could not make the play. Oh, and a hop. And the Cubbies get a break.
Off to the end of the bat. The ball wasn't hit hard. Nettles had to charge it. He's got it. Looked like it might have had trouble, just a little trouble getting it out of his glove. He didn't grab the ball right, and as a result, he made a bad throw. We get to see it again. He made a nice play on a short hop.
His feet got tangled up, and that's what happened.
Well, he wasn't going to throw him out anyway because not the way he played it. They gave him a hit, and here's Matthews. There's a strike, and the count is 0-1. So the infield now has to move a little bit out of position. The Cubbies came back before, and here comes Gossage. 1-1. They were down 2-0. They picked up 3 very quickly in the 4th.
He goes.
Now what chance you got if he throws that slider, Reg?
None. Right now, if you're going to try to hit that breaking ball, it'll be like trying to drink coffee with a fork.
There was the slider, too. It was just a little bit high.
Well, Sandberg, Gossage is not paying that much of attention. He's got a jump and a half. There he goes. That's strike 3. Throw through. Look out. Almost took the head off of Gossage. And Sandberg's at second base, and he stays out of the double play. But Matthews strikes out.
And didn't like the call at all.
Here again, when people talk about a runner getting a good jump, you see Ryan Sandberg already gone from the picture. He could have stood up on that and been safe. That's what you call getting a jump on the picture.
Now they're giving the umpire a little trouble from the Chicago dugout.
And I believe that the first base umpire, Frank Campagna, has come in to say something. They want the sign off. That's it. They got a sign over there, so they want it off. Watch the Nettles play here in super slow-mo. That's where they're getting the
ball hit to Greg Nettles, and he gets a little bit tangled up here. It's a little trouble. Doesn't have trouble getting the ball out of his glove. He just has a little problem with his feet. Consequently, falls down. Ball's beaten out.
A looper foul back below us to Greg Moreland. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Pop to second, fly to center, bounce to third. So Sandberg at second base. 5-3. Padres on top. 1 out, top of the 8th. On deck, Ron Say. Checks the bunt as he has Nettles way back at third.
There's so much pressure right now falling here for Amelia Gossage.
Hard to the hole, base hit left field. Here comes Sandberg around. He will score. Martinez will go to second base. It's a 5-4 ball game.
Something we didn't expect. Goose giving one up. Pass ball comes into play now, doesn't it?
Kind of a fluke play right there. Kind of a fluke base hit, infield hit, stolen base.
And Ricardo will go out to run. Excuse me, Reggie. Go ahead.
There is a ball hit into the left field. The ball was up. And Keith Moreland pulled that ball. That's something you don't see with a Rich Gossage pitching. Goose this year, though, in ball games that he's entered, he has had a tendency to give up a few more runs than people expected. He does that, then his adrenaline gets pumping, he settles down.
Well, the biggest thing, if you're Moreland, you know right there, if you've only can look for one pitch, you can't look for 2 off of Gossage and hit him, so you gear yourself to the fastball. If he throws you the breaking pitch, you walk over and lay down on your back. That's all.
He's only thrown one slider, and that's been high.
Here's Ron Say. Cotto at first, running for Moreland, so they've got speed aboard. And Big Lee Smith throwing in the Chicago bullpen. There's Cotto. There's a strike, 1-1 to count. The big thing about Gossage, when he had Sandberg over there, and he was working in such a hurry, it was almost if he was just saying, the heck with Sandberg. If he would have gone over there, he might have picked him off. That's how big a lead that Ryan had. Pops him up. Nettles says he'll try it. Makes the catch, 2 gone. But what is happening here, depending on what will happen with Jody Davis, you don't like to see it, I don't think, Earl. If you're a manager, you hate like heck to see a pitcher go through a lineup and be in a jam situation just to expel hitters.
That's right.
You can look at it when it's all over with and say, boy, he really went through the lineup, got down to the big part. There goes a runner. That's deep left center field. McReynolds going back, still going back, just off the wall. Cotto will score. We're going to be tied at 5.
Another high fastball. They're looking fastball, they're getting fastball, and they're showing a lot of heart, both ball clubs.
Yes, they are, especially the Chicago Cubs right now. They are coming back. They've come back twice in this ball game. 3 times, twice in the ball game they've come back.
High fastball hit well. We got McReynolds going back. He couldn't get to it. The ball hit the wall on a fly. Wasn't far from a home run.
Lucky that ball stayed in the ballpark. So Kennedy out there to talk to Gossage as if to say, look it, we've got Durham here. Let's not give in to him that much. They're going to put him on. They won't even worry about it. But there again, if you're the Chicago Cubs coming up there, you just gear yourself for one thing. And that's exactly what we've seen in this inning.
Well, when Goose came in the other night, he showed him some sliders.
Exactly.
Whether they were strikes or whether they were balls, Goose probably went in there with a 2-run lead saying, I'm not going to walk any. We just saw what happened in the last inning.
Right. And all it is a case of showing a hitter something, as Richie Hebner is going to come out.
I'll tell you, though, it doesn't matter what Chris Gossage or Lee Smith shows them. If they show a breaking ball, you just can't look for the breaking ball that they're going to throw you because they throw so hard.
Well, we agree with you, Reg.
If they throw a strike for a breaking ball, you just got to give it to them.
Here comes Richie Hebner.
Another very good low ball hitter.
Good low ball hitter.
Batting for the shortstop.
He's just had 1 hit off of Gossage, but right here in the Chicago 8th inning, they have 3 hits off of Gossage. They have tied to score. They have got the go-ahead run at second base in Jody Davis, and Durham over at first. That is the story.
And here's a man with playoff experience. He's been in 8.
Oh, yes, sir. That, by the way, is a National League record, 8 playoffs. There's Davis. And there's Durham.
And there are some great names that he went by. People like Pete Rose have been in some playoffs.
That's the right field, so he got around on it. Here comes Tony Gwynn and makes the catch, and that is out number 3, but not before. The Cubs come back with 2 runs on 3 hits, and we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 5-5 tie, and we'll be back after this message and a word from our local stations.
Back to Don Drysdale in San Diego.
All right, Jim, thank you very much. And right here, we have a couple of changes. Tom Verizor moves in to play short for the Chicago Cubs, and the big right-hander, Lee Smith, comes on to take over the pitching chore. So put Verizor, well, we'll see how they run it. Right now, we'll see. They might put Verizor in that 9th spot and put Smith in the 8th spot. I would assume, wouldn't you, Earl, they put a double switch right here?
I would think it's the double switch, yes.
And for the San Diego Padres, Henry Cotto stays in the game. He ran for Moreland, so he stays in that spot in the 4th spot, and he's in right field. And for San Diego, they have Kennedy, McReynolds, and Martinez in that order to face the big right-hander Lee Smith. 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors for the Padres. 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Cubs.
And Don has gotten down to an old-fashioned shootout. A gunfight in San Diego. I'll meet you over there in the 8th inning, Rich Gossett, says Lee Smith, and we'll just see who's the best.
Both teams come from behind twice.
That's it. Well, here's Kennedy. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Out of play, left side, 0-1 the count. So your infield of Say, Verizon on the left side, and you've got Sandberg and Durham on the right side. That last pitch at 97 miles an hour. The outfield of Matthews, Dernier, and Cotto from left to right. Down low, the count 1-1, and you've got to give the Cubbies all the credit in the world. Down 5-3 to Gossage in the 8th.
That showed some heart.
Oh, I'll tell you, it showed heart. They bowed their necks, and they came back to tie. Out of play, and the count 1-2. Verizon is hitting in the 9th spot, and the pitcher, Smith, will hit in the 8th spot. That last pitch at 99. On deck, Kevin McReynolds. Broke his bat, shattered it, tore it apart, tore the screen apart, and Durham will make the play.
You know, I certainly hope that one of these times someone doesn't miss one of those balls, one of the fielders, and Terry Kennedy is going to wind up not running down to first base. Here's this 100-mile-an-hour fastball, 99 or 100, tears that bat right in half. That ball's inside, he crowds him and jams him.
Batting for McReynolds.
And you wind up with an unassisted play. Terry Kennedy, one of these times, is going to find himself holding the bag. He's got to bust down to first base every time. You never know.
Sooner or later, you get burned.
And this is Salazar. Yes, sir, it'll happen as he will hit for Martinez. The Luis Salazar to hit for Camilo Martinez.
I tell you right now, as a hitter, you don't have to do very much thinking at the plate. Just rear back and let her fly.
That's it.
This is old-fashioned hardball.
He's hitting for McReynolds, I should say. Salazar is.
And McReynolds must have a bad knee.
He very well could. We talked about that as he made that slide into second base. So Salazar for McReynolds. He hit that bag hard with that right knee. 0-1 to Salazar. Outside, 1-1.
Be interesting to see who Dick Williams brings in to play the outfield because Bobby Brown has already been used.
The 1-1 pitch. And very quickly 1-2.
Well, Smith isn't letting up either.
Not at all. Now, he'll probably use Salazar out there in the outfield. He's not going to use just a regular player. He's got Champ Summers left. That's outside. The count 2-2.
Well, I think he's going to want to save Champ Summers' left-handed bat because the Cubs do not have a left-hand reliever.
Exactly. 2-2 the count. Out of play.
The thing you have to be careful right now of as a hitter, ball game is tied 5-5, and the first thing that comes to your mind as a hitter, you can win the ball game with a home run. And when you start trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark against guys that throw 95, 100 miles an hour, you're working right into their hip pocket.
Ron Say to Durham, and that retires Salazar.
And I'll say amen to that last statement. You watch your players walk out of that dugout, they got one thing in mind, and all of a sudden they're walking back.
The left fielder, number 14.
Here's Martinez. So there's 2 outs. If you're looking to the Chicago 9th in this 5-5 tie, they have Verizon, the top of the order, Dernier and Sandberg to face Gossage. And we've got some action down in the Padre bullpen. That might be Craig Lecker's left-hander throwing. Little looper, foul territory. That will be back into the seats. That slide to second base, McReynolds bruised his knee and his left wrist. Craig Lefferts down in the
is a fifth. McReynolds will be missed.
For some reason, I think he'll rebound by tomorrow, unless he's hurt bad.
If there is a more. Right here, the Padres have blown 2 leads. That is off of the glove. Here comes Verizon, and he will not make a play.
That's what you have to do. You have to think, put the ball in play. If it happens to go out of the ballpark and go out of play, it's a bonus. But here's that overpowering fastball, and Martinez just tries to put the bat on the ball. He hits a smash back up the middle. Smith tries to get out of the way, bounces off to him. No chance for Verizon. And the Padres have a man aboard.
And that'll bring on Gary Templeton. So you've got Martinez at first without much speed at all. And you've got Templeton at the plate. Dernier in right center. The outfield fairly shallow for Templeton. Interesting.
This is a spot where you should be playing deep. The single doesn't get the run home, but a ball in the gap does.
As an outfielder, the thing you want to do now is to not let the ball get over your head. Keep that ball in front of you.
Also playing a little deeper helps you get to it in the alleys.
Oh, by the second baseman Sandberg, and that was a tough play, but he should have had it.
That was a smash, Johnny. That was a smash. I guess you could say it looked like he could have gotten in front of that ball. We'll see now.
Well, these are the plays that he's been coming up with all year.
This ball is hit right on the button by Templeton. A smash. He just doesn't get in front of the ball. He had a chance to get in front of that ball. He didn't. Consequently, ball got by him. And we'll see how they score it.
They draw the air.
Really looked like the ball might have taken a funny little hop there at the end. Did you see it move back into him just a little bit?
Well, the ball was hit awfully hard, and I'll give the scorer credit. That ball should have been caught many times. A great fielder like a Ryan Sandberg, favored to win a Gold Glove this year. Don't call those balls base hits.
Here's that pinch hit situation you were talking about, Reggie, saving him for a game situation, and here comes Summers.
So Gossage will leave, and it will be Champ Summers. You see, 0 for 1 in the championship series. He will come on and hit for Gossage, and it'll be up to Greg Leffert. So there goes the big man in the Padre bullpen as far as the entire year has gone.
The image.
One ball and no strike.
The first 3 times Champ Summers pinch hit this year, he got game-winning hits. And one of them was a grand slam.
Well, here's something right here where the Cub outfield is cheating a little bit. They've got a slow man at second base in Martinez and pretty good power with Summers. Out of play, left side.
And yet they're up. That gives them a chance. You know, they're trying to cut 1 run off. Now, you can see them playing a little shallower than they would if the man's on first base. This gives them a chance to throw the man out at home plate.
And they're playing a little more shallow right now because the ball game's on the line. They would not be that shallow if it was earlier in the ball game.
Definitely.
But right now, 1 run, bottom of the 8th inning, you got to cut it off. If he hits it over your head, too bad.
Up high. And the count 2-1. Jody Davis had a thought at second base. Verizon was jumping in behind. That last pitch at 99.
Very tough thing what you see Champ Summers do right there, to try to be patient at the plate. He has not been the plate in several days. Now he's got worked the count in his favor. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Takes a strike in the count 2-2.
No matter what happens, it was a good piece of strategy by Dick Williams here, using Salazar, the right-handed hitter, up first and saving Summers for this situation.
5-5 tie.
Here's Dick.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2 count to Summers. Bounce first base side foul. Oh, they had the runner at second base picked off, and Smith came to the plate. Whoa!
Second time.
Yes, sir. Verizon's trying to sneak in behind. The crowd is so loud that Martinez might not be able to hear Ozzie Virgil.
There's a funny thing, too, now. I'm sure that right now, if I'm managing, I want the pitcher to go after the hitter and no funny stuff. I don't know what would happen right now if he hits a routine ground ball to shortstop and Tom Verizon is covering and a routine ball goes through there for a base hit. As we see him sneak in behind there. Thank goodness he didn't hit a routine grounder to short.
Well, especially with 2 strikes. You got 1 pitch to get out of the inning.
Smith will take a little time. 2-2 the count. Up high, 3-2. Now this will give Martinez a lead. 2 outs. The runners will be going. Martinez from second and Templeton from first.
Can't get much more exciting than this.
No, sir. On deck is Alan Wiggins.
This is the guy right now you want to go after, too. He has not been in the ball game. He's a little cold, John Summers. You want to go after him. You don't want to let Wiggins get up to the plate because he's a contact hitter. He's going to put the ball in play.
Runners go. He struck him out on ball 4. Summers could not hold up as he went after ball 4, and the Cubs are out of it. No runs on a hit and air, and they leave a pair. And we're through 8 complete here at San Diego. Look at it again as we go out of the inning. Ball 4 in a 5-5 tie. As Tom Bereiser will lead it off. The new center fielder is Luis Salazar. And the new pitcher is Craig Lefferts. As Bereiser cannot hold up, goes around, the count is 0-1. We're in the top of the 9th inning in a 5-5 tie. Up high, the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Here again, we see that no wind-up move.
Pitching from the stretch.
Out of play, and the count moves on to 1-2.
Well, the goose is gone.
Craig Lefferts has done an outstanding job for the Padres this year.
1-2 the count to Bereiser. Going inside. Lefferts has been used as a man to get the Gossage the majority of the time this year, but here tonight he's used to pick him up. 2-2 pitch. High left side. Templeton over. Makes the catch, 1 away. If there is the 5th game, and should the Padres win tonight, and they must win tonight to go to Game 5, it'll be 4 o'clock Eastern Time right here on ABC. That'll be tomorrow, if necessary. They've had the Cubs down a couple of times, and the Cubs just kept battling back. And we're in a 5-5 tie.
Yes, we are, and I'll tell you, if this were the American League, the goose would still be in the ballgame. The pinch hit situation would not have come up, or the World Series this year, for that matter.
Bobby Dernier takes low. The count 1-0. Dernier is 0 for 3 tonight. Has walked, has a stolen base. On deck, Ryne Sandberg. And it was the man on deck who had the big play in the 8th inning, leading it off, who hit a little chopper to third that Nettles could not throw him out on, and that opened the gates. 2-0 the count. And here's a man that Lefferts does not want to put on. As you look at Dick Williams and Jimmy Fry. Ball 3, 3-0.
As a manager, you just can't relax in this situation. It's just tension, tension, tension.
I don't think anybody can relax. I think everyone's on the edge of their seat, including myself. You don't want to get right now to Ryne Sandberg because of the year he's had and what he's done in this series. Things just happen good when he's there.
3 balls and a strike. That's if you're the Padres. And, of course, on the other hand, you're rooting for ball 4 if you're Jimmy Fry and say, give my man a chance. Jimmy Fry, I wonder how many packs of gum he's gone through tonight.
He's been chewing it.
Line drive, base hit, left field. Dernier, good speed. He's going to go for 2. Martinez slow getting to the ball. The throw, not in time. Double by Dernier. You knew he was going all the way.
Came out of the box like he was shot out of a gun. We get it high from left field. The minute he hit this ball, he's running as hard as he can. He's thinking too. Martinez over in front of it, got there in a hurry and made a strong throw, but just not in time.
Bobby Dernier with a double on that that 3-1 pitch. He got behind on the count. And here's Sandberg indeed.
That's a hitter's dream. 3 balls, 1 strike. 2 balls, no strikes. Two balls and 1 strike.
Well, as compared to the Chicago Cub outfield, the Padre outfield outside of Gwynn is relatively deep. Sandberg takes inside. 1-0 the count. Well, you've got a man who's done it all year, and Ryan Sandberg, who's 1 for 2 tonight. There you see the outfield alignment. They're relatively deep.
One thing about being a home team, you might as well play deep. You don't want it to let it get over your head in this situation, because you don't want to give them 2 instead of 1. You still got an at-bat. If it were the bottom of the 9th, they'd be in.
And of course, it's going to take something special to even get an attempt to throw out Dernier, I would assume, with his speed. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a lot of anxious breaths out here right now. Breaking pitch in and over, and the count 1-2.
Right now, the man with all the pressure on him right now is Craig Leffers. He's got the Padres season. You could call it that. I might be getting ahead of myself, but he may have the Padres season in his left hand.
Well, he does. There's nobody throwing in the bullpen, so it's Lefferts. Kennedy having a little chat with him.
I'm sure he knows it. I'm sure everybody out there on defense knows it, and everyone on the bench.
Well, here's a case where you don't see Nettles. He's in his normal position. Look out, inside, 2-2.
Yeah, the hit to your left over there at third base is going to hurt you just as much now as the hit to your right.
That's right. Jams him as Nettles will make the play.
Big out. That's a big out. Mr. Everything. They got him out.
And of course, that is Gary Matthews, and on deck you've got Henry Cotto. Earl, this is exactly what you were talking about. Dernier coming out of the box. He's thinking 2 all the way. Look at Vukovic. He doesn't even hesitate.
He left home plate thinking double, and he says, you're going to have to throw me out. I'm going to make you throw me out. That's why they call him the deer.
Well, they're going to just put Mr. Matthews on, and they're going to go to Henry Cotto.
He's 0 for 3, but he led the National League, or I know he's got 19 game-winning hits, that's for sure. He led the Cubs down the stretch. He has lived up to that name, Sarge, and the Padres know it. They're going to take a shot at someone else.
Williams knows it. That's why they're putting him on.
Now the young man in that on-deck circle, Henry Cotto, he's done some very, very big things as far as the Cubs were concerned this year. Cotto, just 23 years of age, out of the Bronx, New York, 6'2", 180-pounder.
Number 28.
Signed as a free agent by the Cubs back in '80. Last year, he found himself at Iowa. And here he is with a chance to do something awfully big. 1 for 1 in the series. Out of play, right side. 0-1 the count.
Looks like a breaking ball that didn't break.
It did. It come up there funny, didn't it?
Right now, he's got a chance to make himself remembered, a la Tito Landrum.
0-1 the count. There goes a runner to third. Loop foul. So Dernier will go back. Matthews did not see him.
Earl, I'd like you to comment on this play right here.
Well, he had it all the way, and Matthews wasn't watching the runner ahead of him.
But why does he steal third base with 2 outs right now? That's why Sarge's been in the game for 15 years.
Not necessarily a good play, Reg, but if he's first and third, that pulls the first baseman in, and he has to hold the runner on. They can also try a trick play.
The 2-strike pitch just inside, and the count 1-2.
They might want to create that first and third situation.
Well, right now I want to play good, clean, hard baseball. Give me a base hit. Stay there. I'll drive you in with a single.
Now time called. Kennedy wants to go out and talk to Lefferts, and it might be right here, Earl, that they would go out, and all Terry would do is just give him a little breather and say, look, let's just stop and think what we want to do. As he wants to talk to Nettles, and he wants to talk to Templeton. Dick Williams checking that lineup card. When the Padres come to bat in the bottom of the ninth, they have the top of the order, Wiggins, Gwynn, and Garvey.
Well, they might be saying, just let him run if he wants. Their thoughts might be like Reggie's. You know, what difference does it make third base? Let's play deep. If he wants to take third base, let him take third base.
Well, the big thing, too, with a right-hand hitter and the left-handed pitcher, he might be Nettles in that. They might be saying, look, I'm not going to leave my position vacant over here either.
Right.
I think that possibly Denier was just trying to go for a surprise right now. Maybe go for a bad throw. I think he'll probably stay where he is right now. Stay put.
Now time called again. A ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Look out! Hitting. Of all the times, you don't want that to happen, and it happened, and all of a sudden, you're going to have to pitch to Ron Cey.
And Cey has hit left-handers well this year. As we look at the replay, Cotto couldn't go any place. This pitch was behind him.
Well, there's a case of just flat overthrowing. Okada, he was hit in the back of the leg, and that's hard to do from that position.
Oh, lucky for Lefferts that the ball hit him. Because if that ball does not hit him, that run scores from second base.
Well, the bases are loaded, and all of a sudden, the Cubs have Ron Cey at the plate in a 5-5 tie, 2 outs. Lefferts missing inside, wild inside. One ball and no strike.
That ball was close right there, Donnie.
Got to take one for the club. That's the old stick out the leg trick right there.
I wouldn't mind it. You can hit me now.
Cey, that's right. Cey's popped up 4 times. Norm Sherry going out to talk to Lefferts. Well, the one thing right here, you got to make him hit the ball.
You do. And what they're talking about right now is exactly what I think you said. What you said on the last pitch is this man's overthrowing right now.
It's again right now. I think it's just a case of Norm Sherry going out and just saying, hey, relax, key down, regroup, and start over.
We're in the booth.
Doesn't that
tough
sound
for
easy?
that man to do on the mound.
Doesn't that sound easy?
Well, it's all easy from here.
There it is. 1977. The first Grand Slam in National League Championship play. There's a strike, and Cey is hot again.
It was close.
The thing about it, you do not want to hit Ron Cey, but you've got to pitch him inside. The book on Ronnie is to pitch him inside. He's got a bad hand, and you've got to go inside. You just got to be careful. They're earning their money now.
1 ball, 1 strike. The bases loaded, 2 outs. Denier dancing down the line. Strike 2 call. But don't go away. He had Cotto in the same count in hitting.
Almost the same pitch as the last one, right on the inside corner. They're doing what they want. Is it a strike or isn't it?
Right here's a situation where I think everybody as a little leaguer dreams of being in. Bases loaded. Can you do it?
Pops him up, foul, out of play. That'll be back and below us, and the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Denier standing at third. The go-ahead run. Matthews at second. Cotto at first. 2 outs. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ron Cey. There's 2 outs. Top of the 9th inning in a 5-5 tie. The Cubs knowing they need a win to win it all. The Padres knowing they need a win to force it to the 5th game.
The kind of situation that used to send me down the runway.
Change right side. Wiggins right there. Will go to Garvey, and they get out of it. So the Cubs are going in the 9th. No runs on a hit, no errors. They leave the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning in a 5-5 tie. That's the story from San Diego. San Diego, 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Cubs, 5 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. The bottom of the 9th inning, the Padres will go to the top of the order, and Alan Wiggins, Tony Gwynn, and Steve Garvey to face that man right there, right-hander Lee Smith. So the Padres they've had the lead twice, and the Cubs have battled back. Wiggins 1 for 3, has bounced the second. He singled and scored in the third, sacrificed in the fifth, flied to left. That was in the seventh. Takes high 1-0. Durham up on the grass at first. Say up on the grass at third. The outfield, they're all shallow.
Wiggins knows his job. It's just to get on base.
I know right now as an outfielder, you're checking, you're going over your scouting report in your head, making sure that you're placed defensively, going for all the possible percentages you can in your favor.
There's a strike. 1-1 the count. Well, this is when the stomach rolls. It turns, it tosses, it does everything if you're sitting in either dugout. And it's strike 2, 1-2 the count.
Oh, right now you know that if you're a Chicago Cub and you do not win, the pressure is on you. So the pressure really right now is on the Padres, on the Cubs, as well as it's on the Padres.
Pulls back, takes us that high strike. A ball and 2 strikes. Foul back. Oh, I'll tell you, he turned on that. Looked like Alan Wiggins was going long ball, Earl.
Well, he did turn on it, but the pitch was on the inside half of the plate. I think it would have broke the bat if he got more of the bat on it.
A ball and 2 strikes. On deck, Tony Gwynn. Bunt, third base side, rolling, foul. Picks it up, and that will do it. So Gwynn is gone, or Wiggins, I should say. And of course, that ball bunted with 2 strikes, rolls foul, you're out. Very simple.
Same as if you're sacrificing. He was bunting for a base hit. Not a bad play, to tell you the truth. He held him back.
I agree with you. I don't like to see players do that, but when a guy is an outstanding bunter, I don't mind it.
That's part of his repertoire.
Absolutely.
And that he was trying to do what he's supposed to do, and that's get on base, first base.
And I'll tell you what, Earl, too, if he gets it on the grass, he's on.
Yes.
He just got it on the dirt and it kicked foul. Here's Gwynn. 1-0.
Paul Blair, an old center fielder with the Baltimore Orioles, got many a hit with 2 strikes bunting.
Mickey Mantle used to do it.
Yes.
I've seen Rod Carew do it.
That last pitch, 99 miles an hour. A looker foul, left side.
Here's another broken bat.
So Tony Gwynn will go back and get a new bat with a new handle in it.
You see that a lot with the Gene Mock teams. We've got a player, Rob Wilfong, I've seen bunt with 2 strikes.
Oh, he can bunt. Can he
It
bunt?
happens.
He gets himself some 21 to 30 hits a year, 20 to 30 hits a year, bunny.
He is an outstanding bunter. And a great guy.
Lee Smith has come on. He started with Kennedy bounce at first. Salazar bounced at third. Martinez had an infield single. Templeton was on an error, then he struck out Summers, pinch hitting. That ended the 8th inning. Nobody's gotten the ball out of the infield on Smith yet. But there's a base hit, center field.
Enough said.
Well, I'll tell you, those good hitters, they find ways to get on at all times.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? You know they're going to put the bat on the ball sooner or later. When I played against some guys like Murray, Tony Gwynn, as we see him work on this fastball right here, you face guys like Jim Rice, you just don't want to see him come to the plate when they don't have a base hit in a pressure situation. I want to see him come up there with 4 hits and then it's time to make it out.
Well, here's the guy right here, Earl.
Yes, sir. He's had some type of evening.
You know,
he's got him in the game.
Earl, another thing, I'd like to know how many of your good hitters ever foul out. They never foul out either.
It don't seem like it, no.
Now here's Steve Garvey, Gwynn at second. High and away, the count 1-0. Gwynn's at first, I should say. There's 1 out.
Sometimes when I'm in outfield and you get a hot hitter really having a great day, it seems like he hits every other inning.
Yeah, that's right. I swore they hit out of order at times. What are they doing back here again? 1-0 the count. And, oh, a little slight feint. A little feint. Tony Gwynn, 33 stolen bases on the year.
Well, if Gwynn's thinking about going the way Smith bent that left leg, that can be a tricky one. That's close to a balk move.
Deep right field, way back. Cotto going back to the wall. It's gone. Home run, Garvey, and there will be tomorrow.
It's a major league effort, but he had no chance. It was gone all the way.
Take a look at it from the top. Steve Garvey, a behind-the-ball hitter. He hits it from the start. He knows it's gone, and just so fitting for a guy that left the Dodgers. A little uncomfortable when he left there. Puts the icing on the cake. 4 hits.
You think hitters don't know when they hit it good? You think they don't know when they hit it good?
He only hit 8 home runs, Don, but he knows that one's gone. And there it is. Salute for Whitney and Christian back in New York.
For Garvey, that was his 4th hit of the night, his 5th RBI, driving in 5 of the 7 runs. And yes, indeed, there will be a tomorrow.
As you said, Don, you can't make a better effort than that, but it was off of the back wall. Dejection right there.
Steve Garvey, the leader of the Cub Busters.
What a ball game. What a ball game this has been.
You cannot ask for much more. One of the best games I've seen in a long time.
So once again, the final score, the Padres 7, the Chicago Cubs 5. Be sure to join